Chapter 1968. In 1 second, she remembered, love divided by you? Read book web quick update, no pop-up window, free to read. Xie Han took 2 steps back in shock and looked at Yan Jin in horror. You want the Supreme Master's seal? Are you looking for death? Yan Jin laughed. Why are you so nervous? I was just asking about the appearance of that thing. How is that considered taking it? Who dares to go against the Supreme Master now? That's true, although you're powerful, you don't dare to go against the Supreme Master. Xie Han replied, but you shouldn't ask about the 4 cardinal deity seal. If the Supreme Master misunderstands, not only you, but the entire Mage sect will be wiped out. Yan Jin's fingertips rubbed back and forth on the hole of the jade flute. Hearing his words, he wasn't disappointed. He looked ahead and said, let's continue forward. Xie Han saw that he didn't ask anymore, so he walked over and continued forward with them. It was best that no one asked about the Supreme Master Clear Soul. If they were careless, they would lose their heads. This Yan Jin actually dared to take the Supreme Master's things. He wouldn't even know how he died. However, what happened to him had nothing to do with him, as long as he could help him get the ancient battle souls this time. Bandit 1 looked at Yan Jin worriedly, but Yan Jin gave him a look, indicating that it was fine. Since he dared to mention it now, he wasn't afraid of Xie Han. They continued to walk in the central area and met a few more ancient battle souls along the way. It was Yan Jin who helped Xie Han subdue them every time. Xie Han didn't seem to remember the previous agreement and took all the ancient battle souls for himself. Yan Jin and Bandit 1 just watched without saying anything. They felt that it was too ugly for a commander to do this. There's a lot of people ahead. Bandit 1 said. Then let's go over quickly. Xie Han was in a good mood after obtaining so many ancient battle souls, so he quickly walked forward. Yan Jin and Bandit 1 followed behind. Why are you giving in to him? I heard that he only became one of the top 10 commanders because of his connections. He doesn't have much strength, why do you have to give him face? Bandit 1 couldn't stand it anymore. Being with such a person was lowering his status. Don't worry, he won't be able to jump around for long. Yan Jin said nonchalantly. Don't tell me you want to, no, although I don't care about his life or death, I still need him to do something for me. Yan Jin said, bear with it. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have come here. Bandit E said, I will try my best to ignore him, but the space here is very fragile, you have to be careful, do not clash with those ancient battle spirits. They're so strong. If we were to clash head-on, it's very likely that the space would collapse. I know what I'm doing. Yan Jin said. Bandit 1 knew that Yan Jin was a steady person, so he didn't say much. He just followed him and reminded him of the dangers. What a strong murderous aura. The evil soul, who was walking in the front, suddenly shuddered, but its tone was very excited. It seems that we are close to the main battle area. The closer they were to the main battle zone, the more ancient war souls there were. Yen Kudo's eyes lit up. He didn't care if it was a small amount, but if it was a lot, he would still like it. Hoo, gusts of chilly wind blew from the front, and the black mass of people was blown away by the wind. The scene was a little creepy. So many ancient fighting souls. What kind of war happened here in the past? So many people actually died. Bandit 1 was stunned. Let's not care about what war they were left behind. Taking these ancient fighting souls is the right thing to do. The evil soul said to Yan Jin, there are so many of them, are you sure you can handle them? Yan Jin didn't expect there to be so many of them. There were at least tens of thousands of them. If every one of them was so powerful, they would be comparable to an army. I'll try. With so many people, he didn't dare to guarantee anything. He put the jade flute to his lips and started blowing. The flute sound made the ancient war souls' dazed eyes slowly focus. They looked over, as if they were looking at who was blowing the flute, or as if they were looking at their past memories. The flute sound turned soft and sorrowful, causing their hearts to ache. They felt as if they had experienced something that made their hearts ache, but they couldn't remember anything. So sad, they wanted to remember the past, but they didn't even know who they were talking about. Now, they only wanted to follow the flute sound. No matter where they went, they didn't care who they were talking about. If they followed the sound, they wouldn't be sad anymore. The evil soul took out a pile of spirit stones. Bandit 1 also took out a pile. With a casual toss, the spirit stones flew into the air. The spirit stones formed a circle, trapping the ancient war souls in the middle. Yen Jin's flute sound continued to float over. Those ancient war souls had no intention of entering the spirit stones. After the song ended, he changed to another song. When Bandit 1 heard this song, he wanted to call out to him anxiously, but he held himself back. If he were to interrupt him now, those ancient war souls would wake up. Soon. The evil soul saw that most of the ancient war souls' eyes had become blurry. They were completely immersed in the flute sound. As long as he added more fuel to the fire, they would obediently enter the spirit stones. At this moment, a clear shout came from the opposite side. 100 Ghost Banner, keep! They raised their heads to look. They didn't know when a ghost banner appeared in the air. The strong suction force sucked in all the ancient war souls who had lost their resistance. In a moment, more than half of them were gone. Who? The evil soul exclaimed and subconsciously attacked the 100 Ghost Banner. However, before he could get close to the 100 Ghost Banner, he was stopped by a black figure that suddenly appeared. My young miss is collecting the souls. Unrelated people are not allowed to come near. The black figure slapped the evil soul away and said with his hands on his waist. Yen Jin stopped playing and looked at the 100 Ghost Banner behind the black figure. His pupils constricted. 100 Ghost Banner? What? Bandit 1 looked at the 100 Ghost Banner in disbelief. This was the long-lost 100 Ghost Banner. Don't bother about the 100 Ghost Banner. Hurry up and stop it. Otherwise, the ancient war souls will be snatched away by it. The evil soul shouted. Yen Jin's face was cold as he said, when the 100 Ghost Banner is activated, only its owner can stop it. Find the person first, then ask for these. Bandit 1 closed his eyes and felt for a moment. Then, he opened his eyes and attacked somewhere in the air. As the space here was too weak, he didn't use too much strength. However, he still let Sima Yue and the rest out of the space. MOU? When the evil soul saw MOU, his fighting spirit immediately decreased by 30%. Yen Jin's attention wasn't on MOU. He looked at Sima Yue. He didn't forget that the voice just now was talking about a woman. In other words, the 100 Ghost Banner belonged to this woman. I didn't expect that the long-lost 100 Ghost Banner would appear again. And it's actually with you, the little princess of the ghost realm. It seems like you recognize me. Yen Jin stared at her smiling eyes. How can I not recognize the person who destroyed my main sect? Chapter 1969. The Main sect had suffered a great loss in the immortal witchcraft city. Although most of their people had been captured by Deja, as the head of the Main sect, they still knew about it. Sima Yue, the youngest granddaughter of the Ghost King, the little princess that he had personally conferred, had wiped out the Main sect's forces in the immortal witchcraft city. They had imagined how they would torture her if they ever met her, but they did not expect to meet her so soon. Sect leader Yen Qi, you placed the Main sect in the ghost realm. Of course, you were prepared to be discovered, right? Sima Yue was not afraid of him. She smiled. Even without me, someone else would have discovered this. It was only a matter of time before they were wiped out. So, you're saying that I shouldn't blame you for destroying my forces? That I brought this upon myself? Yen Qi was amused. Sima Yue replied, you're really good at understanding. The evil soul got up and ran back. When he saw that Yen Qi had not made a move and was still talking to Sima Yue, he shouted anxiously, Yen Qi, look at the situation now. You're still in the mood to chat with her. If you don't stop her, the ancient war soul will be taken away by her alone. Can you beat her? Yan Qi asked. I can't, but you can. If you don't go now and the general blames you, let's see what you'll do. Commander Evil, if you can't beat her, you can do it yourself. If you can't beat her, don't point your finger here. Bandit 1 had been holding it in for a long time. When he felt that he could no longer hold it in, there was no need to hold it in anymore. Commander? General? Sima Yuyue heard them. So, you're one of the 10 commanders under Chehi? That's right. If you know what's good for you, stop the 100 Ghosts banner and hand it over. The evil soul lifted his chin arrogantly like a peacock. Sima Yuyue asked him, "Oh, didn't you say that the generals under Chehi were all powerful and powerful? How can there be such a person? Wasn't Chehi destroying his own Great Wall by making him a commander at such a level?" Mou was also puzzled. This doesn't seem like Chehi's style. Could it be his connections? He had to admit that his guess was quite accurate. However, other than those with connections, those without ability would not be able to become commanders. Really, there are people with connections everywhere, Sima Yuyue sighed. However, even if there are people with connections, they are still people with connections. It's fine if you didn't see it, but since you did, you're out of luck today. What do you want? The evil soul sensed the murderous intent in her eyes and moved closer to Yan Jin. He didn't care about this little girl, but Mou was with her. If he made a move, he definitely wouldn't be able to take 2 moves. He could only rely on Yan Qi now. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just thinking that if I can make the 10 commanders of me he become my little ghosts, it would feel pretty good. How dare you? The evil soul shrieked, don't think that you can take me in just because you have the 100 Ghosts banner. You can't take me in. If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten about it. It seems like we don't have to kill you. You're a spirit to begin with. We can just absorb you directly. Sima Yuyue waved her hand and the 100 Ghosts banner returned to her hand. She shook the 100 Ghosts banner, and the evil soul were almost scared away. Even Yan Jin and Bandit 1 looked at her warily, or rather, at the 100 Ghosts banner in her hand. The 100 Ghosts banner could be said to be the nemesis of the Soul Clan. In the past, when the 100 Ghosts banner was in the hands of the Ghost Clan's royal family, the Ghost Realm had always suppressed the Soul Realm. Later, the 100 Ghosts banner disappeared and the Soul Realm rose to prominence. Although with Sima Yuyue's strength, using the 100 Ghosts banner wouldn't suck them in, it would still restrain them and greatly reduce their fighting strength. If Mou used the 100 Ghosts banner, they might not be able to escape. Therefore, they should be glad that the 100 Ghosts banner belonged to Sima Yuyue. Yan Jin, this 100 Ghosts banner will also hurt you and Bandit 1. Why aren't you going to snatch it? Even if it's not for me, you have to think for yourselves. The evil soul said to Yan Jin. Yan Jin clenched the jade flute in his hand. It looked like he was about to make a move. Huan's figure flashed and appeared in front of Sima Yuyue, looking at Yan Jin. The meaning was obvious, your opponent is me. The two of them soon started fighting. Bandit 1 was worried about Yan Jin and wanted to help, but was stopped by Wu Lingyu. Space lock. Bandit 1 wanted to lock Wu Lingyu, but found that the space he locked was empty. Wu Lingyu was no longer there. What a fast reaction. Bandit 1 knew the strength of his move, the lock would be very sudden. But Wu Lingyu was able to dodge it easily, which meant that he had already reacted when the space changed. It looked like he was the one who was on par with him, the one who led the way for them. Wu Lingyu appeared in the air, which gave Bandit 1 a big blow. His position was just outside the range of his lock. Wasn't he telling him that he knew his move like the back of his hand? It looked like this person was not only strong, but also good at dealing blows to others. You are indeed a strong opponent. Bandit 1 put away his impatience and fought with Wu Lingyu. Sima Yuyue held the 100 Ghost streamer, and the ancient war souls were still being sucked in. She looked down at the evil soul and said, now you're the only one left. Don't think that you can do anything to me now. You can't suck me in. The evil soul encouraged himself. This 100 ghost streamer belonged to Sima Yuyue, and with her strength, there was no way she could suck him in. So he didn't have to be afraid of this at all. I can't now, but what if you have lost the ability to resist? Sima Yuyue smiled evilly. Black Shadow, leave him with one last breath. Okay. Black Shadow received the order and flew towards the evil soul. Although the evil soul relied on connections to become a commander, he still had some strength. So when he saw Black Shadow coming over, he still condensed his spirit energy to meet him. Sima Yuyue didn't make a move, and stood in the middle of the ancient battlefield with Mou, watching the ancient war souls being sucked into the 100 ghost streamer. It's all thanks to Yan Jin's sound attack that made them lose their consciousness and resist. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been easy to get them to come in so obediently. Sima Yuyue sighed. Choosing to come out at this time, she really got lucky. Yan Jin didn't expect you to get lucky. Mou said, he should have guessed that there would be people coming, but he didn't expect them to have the 100 ghost streamer. Because without it, the ancient war souls that he controlled would become his fighting strength. Who would have thought that the 100 ghosts banner would devour everyone? He sympathized with Yan Jin in his heart. If he encountered such a situation, he would probably vomit blood. When Sima Yuyue was almost done with the ancient war souls and felt that the battle was about to end, the space suddenly trembled. Remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 1970. What's going on? Black Shadow came back with the evil soul that was almost beaten to death. The trembling space made his heart palpitate. It should be the power of your battle that caused this space to collapse. Sima Yuyue looked worriedly at the 4 people fighting in the distance. It's going to collapse so easily? Black Shadow frowned. In this situation, the power of the space collapsing was very strong. If they weren't careful, the few of them might break their bones in anger. That's right, we have to get out quickly. Sima Yuyue said. She took the 100 ghost banner and kept the evil soul inside. Then the 3 of them flew towards Wu Lingyu and the others. Be careful. The space was trembling, and the cracks from before were getting bigger. When they were flying, Black Shadow wasn't paying attention and almost fell in. At the last moment, he was pulled back by Sima Yuyue. These cracks are getting bigger, I'm afraid it won't last much longer. We have to get out quickly. Mou said. Sima Yuyue was a little anxious. Although Wu Lingyu and the others noticed that something was wrong with the space, they didn't have any intention of stopping. Now that the cracks were getting bigger, they probably wouldn't be able to last more than 2 moves. However, whoever stopped at this time would be giving the other party a chance to kill them. So they didn't attack at this time, but they couldn't leave either. No, if this goes on, everyone will be finished. Sima Yuyue said to Black Shadow and Mou, we can only try now. What? Before Black Shadow could finish asking, he and Mou were kept into the spirit pagoda by Sima Yuyue. Looking at the broken space, she took a deep breath, closed her eyes and disappeared from the spot. Then she appeared beside Wu Lingyu. She stared at Bandit 1 and didn't give him a chance to react. She held Wu Lingyu's hand and disappeared in front of him. Bandit 1's pupils constricted. He didn't expect Sima Yuyue to appear silently. Moreover, it was very dangerous to use this move in such a space. She actually dared to do it. He always thought that Wu Lingyu was the array master. He didn't expect that person to be her. Bandit 1. Yan Jin flew towards him. He looked up and saw that Sima Yuyue had already left with Huan. He didn't expect her to be so bold as to end their battle in such a way. However, there was no time to lament now. The space is about to collapse. We have to get out of here quickly. He flew towards Yan Qi. There's no time to return to the entrance now. Can't we just tear open space and leave? Yenya asked. Let me try. Bandit 1 tried to open up space, but it was useless. Instead, the space trembled even more. As for Sima Yuyue, although she did not have the ability to break through space, the 2 people beside her could. Wu Lingyu and Huan worked together to open the space. The 2 of them pulled Sima Yuyue and flew out. Fei Yi and Yenya were further away, and both of them were injured, so they could only watch them leave. Just as the two of them were in despair, a long rope flew in from the exit and wrapped around the two of them, pulling them in just a second before the exit closed. Boom! Before they could completely leave, the space collapsed. Puff! The five of them had already seen the exit. At the moment when the space collapsed, the five of them were thrown out together. All of them were seriously injured and fell to the ground, unable to move. But fortunately, they were all alive. Yen Jin and Bandit 1 were lying on the ground. At this time, they still had lingering fears. Feeling their beating hearts, they felt that the past few minutes were like a dream. They were actually saved. After resting for a while, Wu Lingyu got up from the ground and took out a pill for Sima Yue to eat. Then, he fed one to Huan and ate one himself. As for the other two, he didn't want to waste this pill. Sima Yue felt pain all over her body. They were only at the exit when the space collapsed. If they were in the space or in the passage, everyone would have been crushed into meat paste. This is the first time I've seen space collapse. I feel like my body is about to be crushed. When she moved, her whole body hurt as if it was being torn apart. Don't move. Wait until your body is better. Wu Lingyu stopped her and returned to her side. He put her head on his lap to make her more comfortable. Why did you want to save the two of them? Wu Lingyu asked her. At the last moment, it was she who condensed her spiritual power into a rope and rolled the two of them into the space passage. If it weren't for her, Yen Jin and Bandit 1 would have died inside this time. When Yen Jin and Bandit 1 entered the space passage, they saw Sima Yue dispersing the rope formed by her spiritual power and knew that she was the one who saved them in the end. They were also very curious as to why she saved them. I wanted to save them, so I saved them. Sima Yue replied. I don't believe you. Wu Lingyu flicked her forehead. Did you want to discuss arrays with that array master? You already know, yet you still ask me. Sima Yue didn't deny it. Actually, when he was fighting with you, the array he used looked familiar. However, I couldn't recall it, so I subconsciously saved them. I don't know if I will save these two ungrateful wretches. Wu Lingyu snorted. I won't. Sima Yue struggled to sit up. Wu Lingyu could only help her up and let her lean into his embrace. After Sima Yue sat up, she looked at the two people lying on the ground and said, You two are more seriously injured than us. If you promise not to repay kindness with ingratitude, I will save you. Bandit 1 and Yen Jin didn't say anything. Hey, the matter of the ancient war soul is already over. You can't snatch it back now. Other than the matter of Immortal Witch's City, we don't have any grudges. You two aren't Qing Hun and Qi He's people, so we aren't considered enemies. Sima Yue said. Moreover, you two were at fault for what happened in Immortal Witch's City. Yen Jin endured the intense pain and sat up so that he was at the same level as Sima Yue. Although she was seriously injured, her eyes were clear and bright. It was easy to look into them. You're right. We don't have any political opposition. The wound was too painful. His mouth twitched. Just like what Sima Yue said, he wasn't Qing Han and Qi He's people. There was no unresolvable grudge between him and Sima Yue. The only grudge they had was the matter of Immortal Witch's City. However, that loss was nothing compared to his and Bandit 1's lives. Sima Yue saved them and gave them a way out. He admired someone who had such courage at such a young age. Bandit 1 didn't have any grudges with Sima Yue. They just had different standpoints. In reality, since Yen Jin said so, he didn't have any objections. Moreover, he admired her ability to comprehend space. It was best if such a person didn't become enemies. Seeing the two of them like this, Sima Yue took out a bottle of pills and threw it over. Yen Jin gave one to Bandit 1 and ate one himself. Chapter 1972. They didn't ask for the reason but didn't ask for their identity. Yen Jin and the others' hearts sank. It seemed like they wouldn't be able to escape today. He and Bandit 1 looked at each other. If it really came to that, they would use that move to escape first. They just needed to hide for 2 or 3 days until their injuries got better. Then they could escape. Sima Yuyue looked at them and planned to call them out when they made their move. Her thoughts were similar to Yen Jin and the others. They had to deal with the situation in front of them first and think about the rest later. Wait a minute. The man sitting in the middle raised his hand and stopped the other two. He said, "They are all heavily injured. Don't rush to kill them." Sima Yuyue and the others sighed in relief. As long as not everyone said they wanted to kill them, they still had a chance. Brother and I, regardless of whether these people are injured or not, it's strange that they suddenly appeared here. We shouldn't let them go. I didn't say let them go. Zhou and I said. But these people are all injured. Who hurt them? Where are the people who hurt them now? If they are hiding, we can at least get some information from them. Brother and I is right. We can't kill them so carelessly. We have to at least ask about the situation first. Someone agreed. Sima Yuyue and Yen Jin looked at each other. They had the same idea. No one could speak. These people seem to be heavily injured. They are about to lose consciousness and can't speak. Should we bring them back? Yes. Bring them back and lock them up. Zhou and I ordered. Lock them up in the dungeon. Don't let them escape. The white-necked apes walked forward and grabbed one person in each hand. Their palms were almost as wide as a person's body. It was as if they were rolling them up. Luckily, Zhou and I reminded them to be careful not to kill them. They didn't hold them so tightly. Let's go back to the tribe. Zhou and I ordered. The white-necked apes turned around and went back. Sima Yuyue and Wu Lingyu were hugging each other before, so when the white-necked ape caught them, it also caught them in one hand. Wu Lingyu protected her the moment they were grabbed. This way, she wouldn't be hurt by the white-necked apes. Are we going to their clan just like that? He transmitted his voice to her. It's not good to fight now. Why don't we go back and rest for a few days? At the same time, I want to understand the situation here. Otherwise, I will be like a headless fly if I continue to run like this. Sima Yuyue replied. Even if he went to the clan, once his body recovered, he might be able to escape. In any case, the situation couldn't get any worse. But you'll have to go to jail. Wu Lingyu's heart ached that she had to go to such a place even though she was injured. It's okay. As long as you're here, it's all the same. Her words warmed Wu Lingyu's heart, and she couldn't help but hug her even tighter. The white-necked ape that was holding them felt some movement in its hand. When it looked down, there was nothing. Yen Jin and Bandit E were held in the hands of another white-necked ape. When they opened their eyes, they could see each other. Resigned to fate? Don't move for now. The two of them exchanged glances and then decided to do so. However, this was the first time in their lives that they would go to jail. They felt that they had been walking for a long time. They were swaying and dizzy. Coupled with their serious injuries, several of them couldn't help but faint. Only Wu Lingyu and Huan were slightly better and were conscious all the way. Young master, young miss, didn't you say that you were going to visit? Why are you back so soon? Someone asked. Not far away, we saw a few intruders. We caught them and brought them back. There were intruders? Why didn't you just kill them? Why did you catch them? These people all suffered the same injuries. We caught them and interrogated them to see if anyone else came here. Zhou and I explained, a few of you come here and put them in jail. Yes. The sound of the conversation woke Sima Yuyue up, but she didn't open her eyes. She felt someone coming over and took them from the white-necked ape. Then, each of them carried one person to the jail. After locking them in 2 rooms, they all left. Bang, The door closed and the 5 of them opened their eyes at the same time. After feeling that there was no one around, they all sat up. This jail is really big. Sima Yuyue saw that there were only 4 rooms. It was so clean that it looked like a civilian house. No matter how she looked at it, it couldn't be connected to a jail. Look at how disappointed you are. Isn't it good to have such an environment? Yan Jin teased her. I am a little disappointed. I thought I could really experience life in jail. Sima Yuyue was seriously disappointed. In a place like this, the intruders are all killed directly. How can there be anything about locking them up? This is probably used to occasionally lock up people in the clan who have made mistakes. Bandit 1 said. Perhaps it was because he admired Sima Yuyue that Bandit 1 spoke more than usual. However, Sima Yuyue didn't know that. Only Yan Jin looked at him a little more. It's just nice for them to recuperate. Yan Jin said, but why is your pill so effective on the injuries of the Soul Clan? Although they were all healing pills, the Ghost Clan and the Soul Clan were different. It was obvious that the pill she gave them was targeted at the Soul Clan. But why did she have the Soul Clan's pill? I'm giving it to you. Why are you asking so much? Sima Yuyue rolled her eyes at him. Then, she leaned into Wu Lingyu's arms to rest. Luckily, Wu Lingyu pulled her closer to the exit. He received less impact and was the least injured. Now, he could be her back. Yan Jin and Bandit 1 were curious. This Ghost Clan's little princess had the Soul Clan's pill on her. It was strange no matter how they thought about it. Suddenly, they remembered that she used to be a human. However, they couldn't feel her human aura at all. Could it be that you're a soul body? Yan Jin and Bandit 1 were shocked by this guess. The Ghost Clan's little princess was a soul body. It was equivalent to saying that she was from the Soul Clan. How scary would that be? It's nothing. Grandfather doesn't care. Sima Yuyue didn't deny it. If I say I'm from the Soul Clan, would Qing Hun dare to admit it? That's true. You're injured so badly. Don't talk anymore and recuperate. Wu Lingyu hugged her. The 2 of them healed their injuries. Huan automatically ignored the 2 of them. He sat cross-legged and closed his eyes to heal his injuries. Yan Jin and Bandit 1 stopped talking and healed their injuries. These people wouldn't come to heal their injuries. However, they probably wouldn't disturb them for the next 2 days. In the eyes of those people, their injuries were too serious. They wouldn't wake up every 2 or 3 days. It was useless to come to them. Because they guessed that there were still people here, their focus for the next 2 days should be on searching for those people. And these 2 days were their chance. Remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 1973. Just as they had guessed, no one came to disturb them for the past 2 days. With the help of high-grade pills, they recovered at lightning speed. Their external injuries had healed by 30 to 40%. If only there was something that could make them ignore us. Give us a few more days and we'll be able to recover by 70 to 80%. Yan Jin said. They had only recovered by 30 to 40%. If they were to fight with those people, they had no chance of winning. Sima Yuyue thought so as well. She wondered if she should find something for them to do so that they would ignore her. At this moment, the scarlet bees that they had placed outside brought good news. They actually found someone who had entered. This was really, feeling the joy from her body, Yan Jin asked her, "What's the good news?" "They were prepared to interrogate us just now," Sima Yuyue said. "How is that good news? Why are you so happy?" Yan Jin snorted. Then, the people who came went back halfway. Sima Yuyue continued. "Really? Why?" "That's because they've really encountered an outsider," Sima Yuyue said, "and those people were obviously unwilling to be killed, so they were resisting. Most of the people from this clan went after them." Wu Lingyu and the others looked at her in disbelief. Was there such a coincidence? Those people were discovered at this time. These people would naturally think that those people were the ones who hurt them. If those people were more powerful and didn't get caught, those people wouldn't think of them for the time being. Instead, they would go after those people. This way, they would have more time. Pfft, I wonder who's so unlucky. While Yan Jin was rejoicing, he was also gloating. Those people were able to sneak in, which meant that they had some ability. They were careful all the way and did not expect to be discovered. They must be depressed. How could these people investigate so closely? They did not know that it was all because of them. Sima Yuyue also felt that those people were unlucky, but she did not gloat as much as Yan Jin. I hope those people can hold on for a while longer. If they were caught today, then we would have been happy for nothing. She reminded. Indeed. However, since they were able to persist until here, it meant that they had some ability. People with strength are not so easy to catch. I hope so. Take care of your injuries. After Sima Yuyue said that, she did not continue. She got up and walked 2 rounds. Aren't you going to heal yourself? I need to do something else. She took out the 100 Ghosts banner and began to refine the ancient war souls inside. Although these ancient fighting souls had been absorbed, they were not completely under her control. Now that she had recovered a lot of her spiritual power, if she could control it well, they wouldn't have to worry about not being able to get out this time. Have you thought it through? Yan Jin looked at her seriously. Once the 100 Ghost banner appears, you will have a lot of trouble in the future. The 100 Ghost streamer was a treasure that the entire ghost realm scrambled for. Once they knew that she had it, many people would want to snatch it away. Those who don't want to die can come and try. Anyway, my 100 Ghosts banner can still hold a lot of people. Sima Yuyue said indifferently. Truly, domineering. When Yenya thought of so many ancient war spirits, he felt his heart ache. Those guys were supposed to be his, but she snatched them all away. Who asked him to have never expected the appearance of the 100 Ghost banner to appear? Sima Yuyue knew that he was upset, so she said gratefully, speaking of which, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to obtain these ancient war spirits so smoothly. Thank you so much. Yan Jin snorted and didn't reply to her. Speaking of which, your Mage sect is really powerful. You can actually control the minds of souls in such a large area. Sima Yuyue had some understanding of sound attacks in the past, but it wasn't as effective as his. How do you think I became the second in charge of the Mage sect? Yenya snorted. Not everyone was like the evil soul who relied on connections to get to the top. I see that the tune you play is different from Chun Ying's. Do you have a specific tune? Or is it fine as long as it's music? Sima Yuyue asked. Why are you asking so many questions? Do you want to learn? Yan Jin raised his eyebrows. It's not bad if I can learn. There's no harm in having more skills. Sima Yuyue admitted her thoughts. You want to be my disciple? I dare to do that. Do you dare to accept me? Sima Yuyue snorted. Yan Jin's face darkened. Firstly, it was because of her attitude. Secondly, it was because he dared to accept her, but he couldn't. Although she had saved his life, she was still the little princess of the Ghost clan. If anyone knew about this, it would give Qing Hun something to use against him. Actually, it's not a big deal for you to give me some pointers. Sima Yuyue looked at him. If anyone criticizes you, you can just say that you're indebted to me for saving your life and gave me some pointers. Who can blame you then? You've already thought of an excuse for me. Are you so sure that I'll teach you? Yan Jin said, it seems like you had this in mind when you saved me from the start. If I said that I didn't, would you believe me? No. Then there's no need to be bothered about this. It doesn't matter if there's an outcome or not. Sima Yuyue said. You'd better go and study your 100 Ghost banner. Yan Jin closed his eyes after he finished speaking. He intended to continue talking to her about this. Sima Yuyue wasn't angry. This kind of thing needed to be dealt with, especially for someone like Yan Jin. He didn't like to owe others, but he wouldn't agree to teach her so easily. So she let him be bothered by it. She had to seize the time to refine those ancient war souls. She hoped that those people could hold on for a while longer so that she could refine some of them. Not far from where they were, a group of people were hiding in the mountains. Many of them were injured, and the group was in a sorry state. The leader, Suyu, had a face darker than the bottom of a pot. He was emitting a cold aura, and no one dared to go near him. "Commander, this is too strange." The guard beside him said, "No one noticed us on our way here. How did we get discovered the moment we arrived here? Also, we found out that these people seem to be searching this area. It's as if they knew that we were coming here. This is indeed strange." Another person agreed, "Commander, could it be that someone leaked the news? You're saying that there's a mole among our people?" Suyu looked at that person and narrowed his eyes. The person who said this was shocked by his gaze. He subconsciously took 2 steps back and said, I'm just guessing. It can't be my people." Suyu said, "Instead of guessing, why don't you suggest a way to get out of this encirclement? You're our guide. You should be very clear about the area you live in." Chapter 1974. Suyu was very depressed. His plan in the ghost realm was forced to be put on hold. In order to atone for his mistake, he thought of coming here to look for the clear snow lotus that he had always wanted. Because there was someone leading the way, they were fine all the way and were not discovered by anyone. They did not expect to be attacked one after another here. And those people came rather quickly, as if they were preparing nearby. "Commander, there are more people coming," the guard on sentry duty said. Suyu stared at the guide they found, his gaze cold. "I'll give you 1 day to get rid of these people. Otherwise, you don't need to live anymore." Yes. That person was chilled by his gaze and quickly replied, "Let's go this way." It seemed that for his own life, he had to show his true ability. However, they spent 7 to 8 days and still could not get out of this place. The people of this family seemed to have received someone's guidance. No matter where they hid, they could find them. It was as if there was really a traitor. However, they also checked, and no one was suspicious. After a while, everyone was eliminated. Since it was not their problem, then what was going on? Unable to understand this point, everyone felt stifled in their hearts. They blamed this crime on the guide, feeling that he did not lead the way well. When Suyu was furious, he really wanted to kill him. In the end, he was persuaded by the guard beside him. They were fine before, and it was indeed thanks to him. They were unfamiliar with this place. If they killed him, it would be difficult for them to continue on their journey. The anger in Suyu's heart could not be vented on this, so he could only vent it casually. Who knew that he was so strong that he directly cut off half of the mountain, attracting people nearby? They had no choice but to continue escaping. Sima Yuyue was in the prison. When she received the news, she was convulsing with laughter. She did not expect that the unlucky person would be Suyu and his subordinates. She let the scarlet bees follow them all the way. After finding their tracks, she created some traces so that they could not escape. However, these people were really powerful. After dragging on for so many days, their injuries were almost healed. The ancient war soul in her 100 ghost banner was almost refined. Yan Jin sympathized with Ruin Valley in his heart. This fellow was a man with strength, cunning. In front of me he had a lot of face. Unfortunately, he met Sima Yuyue. Last time, Deja had used his people and things as a cover for the incident in the Immortal Witchcraft City. Naturally, he had found out the reason and knew about the Ruin Valley's plan. Sima Yuyue was the cause of the Immortal Witchcraft City and this incident. It could be said that she was his nemesis. Bandit 1 had a good relationship with Yan Qi. Naturally, he had heard about how Sima Yuyue had ruined Ruin Valley's plan. On the surface, it looked like Deja had dealt with this matter, but Su Yuha and the others knew that the culprit was still her. Thinking back to those who had gone against her in the beginning, it seemed that they were also very pitiful. This woman was not old, but she was shocking. He had strength, background, and brains. He had so many underworld beasts and knew so many things, which meant that he had a very good encounter. To make an enemy of such a person, only a fool would do such a thing. No wonder she died so young in the human realm. Her luck was too good. This was also his speculation based on what he had seen. If he knew about her past, he would not sigh at her early death. Instead, he would say that it was good that she died. Since I've almost recovered, we can leave at any time. Sima Yuyue said, let's find something to do before they come. Everyone looked at her, not knowing what she wanted to do. Sima Yuyue smiled at Yan Qi and said, have you thought about that matter? Who demands repayment like you? Yan Qi scolded her. He was just short of saying that she was really thick-skinned. Gratitude in this lifetime must be repaid in this lifetime. When we separate, it will be difficult to see each other in the future, let alone have a chance to repay the debt. Look, you're a cultivator. What if you can't repay the debt and leave behind an inner demon that affects your cultivation? I'm doing this for your own good. Sima Yuyue did not feel embarrassed. Yan Qi's mouth twitched. So, I should thank you for thinking for me? You don't have to thank me. Just tell me about your sound attack. Yan Qi, Bandit Yi saw Yan Qi's frown and looked at him with pity. She was right. Yan Qi did not want to owe anyone a debt of gratitude. Otherwise, he would not have told her about Gu Zhanhuan just because he owed the evil soul master a debt of gratitude. Although she was the one who asked, if he was not willing to tell, they would not know. She even brought him to the little realm. Now that he owed her such a huge debt of gratitude, he had already made a decision in his heart. But because of her identity, he could not make this decision so quickly. Actually, it's not impossible to give you a few pointers. Yan Qi said, but the essence of my sect is not something that can be explained in a few pointers. You can also join my sect. Even if I give you pointers, you won't be able to learn anything. It's okay. I'll give you as much as you can. Sima Yuyue was not greedy. She just felt that their sound attack was more powerful than the ones she had seen before. She was just curious. If she could learn it, she would learn it. If she could not, she would not force it. Do you know any musical instruments? Yes, flute, guzheng, and flute. Yan Qi set up a soundproof barrier and said, play one for me. Sima Yuyue took out a jade flute and played a song. Yan Qi nodded after hearing it and said, you're skilled in finger techniques. It seems like I don't need to teach you the basics. Then I'll just teach you the basics of sound attacks. What you can learn will depend on you. All right. Yan Qi was very serious. Although he only wanted to give her a few pointers, he could not be perfunctory. Sima Yuyue listened very seriously. She thought that Yan Qi would be perfunctory. She did not expect him to be so serious. Hence, she learned it well. She followed his instructions for a day and actually managed to learn it. Yan Qi watched her play a complete song. Although she was not very skilled, to be able to achieve this in just a day was already a heaven-defying talent. No wonder she knew everything. With her talent, he could not help but admire her. In order to not feel like he owed her, he taught her all the tricks of sound attacks in the next few days. Sima Yuyue accepted it all. Although she did not understand the more profound ones, she would have time to learn them in the future. At this moment, she did not know that Yan Qi's sound attack was the most powerful in the main sect. At the same time, it was also unique. Using his method to learn the basics had left his mark. Someone is coming. Wu Lingyu reminded. Yan Qi removed the barrier. After waiting for more than 10 days, these people finally remembered them. Chapter 1975. It had to be said that these people were really magnanimous. They locked them up for more than 10 days and didn't think of them. They only went to deal with those intruders. Didn't they think that there might be two different groups of people? However, they later found out that it wasn't that these people didn't think of them, but that the people who caught them were all sent out. They left in a hurry and didn't think of telling their clansmen about them. That was why they were forgotten until now. Clang, the lock was opened and Zhou and I brought people in. Seeing the people who had fully recovered after being locked up for more than 10 days, he said, "Bring them out." The Zhou clansmen came over and opened the door. Sima Yuyue and the others got up and dusted off their clothes, saying, "We'll leave on our own." Zhou and I didn't make things difficult for them and turned to leave. Sima Yuyue and the others also left under the encirclement of a group of people. Perhaps they were too confident in their own strength and felt that the 5 of them couldn't escape from the clan. That was why they didn't even tie them up and just brought them out. At this time, they could finally take a good look at the environment of the Zhou clan. It was surrounded by mountains and water, white mist lingered around it. It felt like a fairyland in the human world. These people always feel that they're out of this world. They feel that they're different from the mortal world. They want this kind of fairy-like place. Yenya said Sima Yoyue's thoughts. "Don't talk." The people at the side scolded. Yenya curled his lips and didn't speak anymore. If they didn't want to talk, then so be it. Who cares about comments? Zhou and I brought them to the living area. There were many people here. Those people looked at them angrily. Other than the previous xenophobia, there seemed to be more anger now. Sima Yuyue naturally knew what they were angry about. Ruin Valley was the commander under Che He. They managed to escape from 3 layers of encirclement. After leaving their territory, those people were no longer under their control. However, they would be laughed at by the people behind them. They couldn't even catch a group of outsiders. How useless. This was even more infuriating than the appearance of outsiders. And these people should be related to those people. If they asked them, they would know the identity of those people. Zhou and I brought them to a spacious and simple house. There were dozens of people sitting in the house. The moment they entered, those people's sharp gazes landed on them. "Patriarch, I've brought them here." Zhou and I bowed. "It's been hard on you. You still have injuries on your body, and you just came back. Go and rest first." The white-bearded old man said. "Patriarch, we were the ones who captured these people. It's my fault for not interrogating them in time. I want to stay and see if they can give us any useful information." Zhou and I said. "All right, then you can stay." Zhou and I sat at the end of the row. The people who were escorting them shouted, "Kneel." Yuyue and the rest didn't care. These people didn't have the right to make them kneel. Huan glanced at him lightly, and the man who spoke felt his scalp go numb. The faces of the Zhou family members were not very good. From where Huan stood, it could be seen that he was just a guard. Even a guard had such an imposing aura. These people's identities were probably not simple. However, so what if it was not simple? This was a lawless area. Who would dare to behave atrociously here? "Who are you? Why did you sneak into my Zhou clan's territory? What was his motive? Who were the people who hurt you?" Patriarch Zhou asked. "Old Master Zhou, if you are willing to talk to us properly, we will tell you what you want to know. If you want to kill us for asking questions, then I advise you to save your worries. The people you have outside are not enough." Sima Yuyue said. "Are you threatening us?" Zhou clan's great elder Zhou Lai said. "How is this a threat? We have no enmity with each other. There is no need to make things worse." Sima Yuyue shook her head. "To be honest, we just came here by accident. We don't have any intention of harming you. Although you came here and shouted to kill us, objectively, you just provided us with a safe and stable environment to heal our injuries. We are actually very friendly." They obviously wanted to capture them for interrogation, but they forgot about them and let them stay in prison for more than 10 days to heal their injuries. This was not a glorious thing for them. "Humph, a group of rascals dare to talk terms with my Zhou clan. How dare you? Do you think that after entering this door, you can still walk out? Do you think you can walk without guts?" Sima Yuyue did not care about their threat at all. She looked at Zhou Zhou and said, Patriarch Zhou, what do you say? Since ancient times, people who trespassed into the triangle area have never returned. What right do you have to talk terms with us? Zhou Zhou asked. Sima Yuyue shook her finger. We are not talking terms with you. We just want to choose a path that is beneficial to everyone. You think that we can't fight against your clan, but can you guarantee that we won't drag your entire clan down with us? You? We can just send a few people to kill you. Someone sneered, disapproving of her words. I'll only say one thing. The injuries on our bodies were not caused by anyone. It was caused by the collapse of space. Sima Yu said, in this case, Patriarch Zhou, do you think we have the qualifications to say this? The Zhou family members took a deep breath. They had heard from Zhou and I that the 5 of them were severely injured. They did not expect that they were caused by the collapse of the dimension. If that was the case, they had to reevaluate their abilities. How many people could survive such a situation? They thought that they were just ordinary intruders. They did not expect them to be experts. Zhou Zhou looked at Sima Yuyue from head to toe. He suddenly felt that she looked familiar, but he could not remember where he had seen her before. Were you really thrown into the triangle area during the collapse of the dimension? That's right. Otherwise, how could you be so severely injured without any signs of fighting? Sima Yuyue said. Zhou Zhou looked at Zhou and I. Yes, there were only 5 of them lying on the ground. There were no signs of fighting. Zhou and I replied. If they were so severely injured, it was impossible for them to appear out of nowhere. At least there would be signs of fighting. Who knows if this is just a ruse you're trying to injure yourself in order to infiltrate my clan? Someone guessed. The Zhou family members originally wanted to believe her words. After hearing her point of view, they felt that it made sense. What if it was just a ruse to gain sympathy? Sima Yuyue rolled her eyes at that person. Are you stupid? The outsiders were so severely injured. If it was you, are you sure you wouldn't be killed? You must be crazy to think that way. Chapter 1976. The Zhou family members wanted to be angry but didn't dare to. If they followed her words, wouldn't they be admitting that they were stupid? And what she said made sense. Even if they wanted to use the trick of injuring themselves, they wouldn't have hurt themselves to that extent. They all lost consciousness. If they wanted to kill them, they wouldn't have been able to fight back. So, it was too much to say that it was a trick of injuring oneself. In that case, you were indeed thrown here. The great elder said. That's right. So you can forget about your conspiracy theories for now. Sima Yuyue said. So what? Kill all the intruders. Someone didn't agree with reconciliation. This person was obviously the war type. Second elder of the Zhou family. As the second elder, you don't think about the stability of the family. All you think about is fighting and killing. Aren't you afraid that you'll drag the family down one day? Sima Yuyue asked. How do you know that I'm the second elder? The second elder was sure that he had never seen her before, but she could accurately recognize him. So, they had indeed come prepared. Not only do I know that you're the second elder, I also know that you were injured by Ruin Valley. Oh, that's the leader of the Soul Clan. Sima Yuyue said. How do you know that we and the Soul Clan? The second elder looked at her in shock. Who are you? How do you know all this? The Zhou family members didn't believe that she came here without a purpose. Otherwise, how would she know all this? Now, they were all looking at her strangely. Why are you so nervous? Sima Yuyue felt tired from standing. Just as she was about to move her feet, Wu Lingyu took a chair and placed it behind her. She smiled at him and sat on the chair. She looked at them calmly without explaining anything. Both sides were in a stalemate. Yan Jin also felt tired from waiting. He took out a chair and sat down. But this chair was much more flashy. It was a luxurious chair with various gems embedded in the back. It was comparable to a throne. Sima Yuyue looked at his chair and pursed her lips. She didn't expect him to be such a flashy person. The Zhou family members looked at Yan Jin and were secretly shocked. Where did this person come from? He didn't seem to be subordinate to Sima Yuyue. Buzz buzz buzz, a weak sound came from outside. Then, the people outside shouted, "Ah, why are there so many bees?" The densely packed scarlet bees were flying around outside, but they didn't attack anyone. They just stopped all over the place. Only a small portion flew into the discussion hall and landed on Sima Yuyu's shoulder. "Don't attack." Zhou looked at Sima Yuyu. She was playing with the scarlet bee in her hand. She was very calm and confident. She didn't feel anxious about being in prison. "After talking for so long, I still don't know your name." His tone was much gentler. "Sima Yuyu." Sima Yuyu? From her surname, she didn't seem to be from a big family or power. Why was her aura so strong that they couldn't even look at her directly? Don't think that she's a nobody. She's the Ghost King's favorite little princess. Yan Jin leaned on the chair lazily. Since when did the Ghost King have a little princess with a different surname? The Ghost King had many princesses, but they all had the surname Yu. None of them had a different surname. That's true. She's only been in the ghost world for more than 10 years. Although she's quite famous outside, I don't think it's spread to here. Yan Jin said slowly, although you don't know her, you definitely know her mother. She's the Ghost King's youngest daughter, Yu Kuluo. What? She's Yu Kuluo's daughter? The Zhou family members were shocked. The head of the Zhou family finally remembered why she looked so familiar. She looked very similar to her mother. He had seen Yu Kuluo from afar before, but their ages didn't match. Hence, he didn't connect the two together. Speaking of which, the Dark Princess has helped us before. I didn't expect that we would treat the daughter of our benefactor poorly today. I'm really sorry. Zhou stood up and bowed to Sima Yuyue. Head, since when did the Dark Princess help us? The others didn't know and thought that he was making it up. That year, the old ancestor was about to die. In order to refine the level-breaking pill for him, we went to Yao Lao to ask for a guiding herb. Do you still remember? Zhou asked. Of course we remember. If Yao Lao didn't give us the guiding herb, the old ancestor wouldn't be able to break through and live until now. The second elder said. Then you should also remember that we went to visit him many times, but were rejected at the door. Zhou said, Yao Lao didn't care about the things we took. There were a few times when the medicine boy came to send us away, until the last time. Zhou recalled. The great elder thought of something and called out, Head, could it be that girl from that day? That's right. Zhou nodded. That day when we went, we were stopped outside as usual. At that time, a girl looked out of the attic's window and heard a girl's voice. She said that since she had come so many times, it meant that she was very anxious about the herbs. Since you have so much, why don't you give it to me? Not long later, a medicine boy came out with the herbs we needed. When we left, I heard two medicine boys talking about the Dark Princess. As expected, you kept saying that there was a girl. I didn't expect it to be her. The great elder said emotionally. That's right. I haven't heard any news about her for a long time. I didn't expect to see her daughter again. Zhou said. They didn't expect it to be like this. The Zhou clan felt awkward. The person they wanted to torture and interrogate was actually the daughter of their benefactor. Now that they saw her, they felt embarrassed. It seems like there's no need to fight today. Yan Jin didn't expect the situation to change so suddenly. The Zhou clan clearly remembered Yu Kuluo's kindness. No fighting, no fighting. Since the little princess is the daughter of the Dark Princess, she is naturally our guest. Besides, didn't you say it yourself? You didn't invade this place on purpose. How can we keep harping on this? Zhou said, Zhou Hui, go tidy up Lin Lawn courtyard for the guests to stay in. A girl stood up and acknowledged. She went to tidy up the best guest courtyard. Zhou Zhou said to Sima Yuyu, young princess, since you've come here, why don't you stay in the clan for a while longer? Give us a chance and let us play host to you, alright? Sima Yuyu looked at Wu Lingyu. Seeing that he didn't have any objections, she agreed. She kept the scarlet bees. The dense swarm of scarlet bees flew in, causing them to have trypophobia. After keeping the scarlet bees, she said to Zhou Zhou, Head Zhou, I want to ask you something. Chapter 1977. Zhou Zhou dismissed his clansmen. There was no need to interrogate her for now, so they did not need to stay here. What does little princess want to ask? Sima Yuyue looked at Yan Jin and Bandit 1. Bandit 1 wanted to leave, but Yan Jin sat on the chair and had no intention of leaving. Seeing Sima Yuyue looking at him, he even raised his eyebrows and was determined not to leave. These people were indebted to Yukeluo, so they were indebted to her and not them. If they were stupid and wanted to deal with him, he would not bother to do it. He had seen how stupid the people in the Triangle region were. Sima Yuyue saw that he was not leaving and did not chase him away. She asked Zhou Zhou, Patriarch Zhou, I want to ask you, is this place far from the 9th Underworld Mountain? Under the 9th Underworld Mountain lived the 9th Underworld clan. They were once the true rulers of the ghost world. Zhou Zhou and Yan Jin were both shocked by her sudden question. Why would she ask such a question? Why, Patriarch Zhou, can't I tell you? Sima Yuyue asked. It's not that I can't tell you, but I didn't expect you to ask this. Zhou Zhou said, Are you going to the 9th Underworld Mountain to find the 9th Underworld clan? Yes. Sima Yuyue admitted. It's not that I don't want to tell you, but I don't know either. How can that be? Aren't you all in this region? How can you not know where the 9th Underworld Mountain is? The 9th Underworld Mountain has not appeared for many years. Although there are still rumors about them, it's all in the past. Now, very few people know the whereabouts of the 9th Underworld Mountain. Even those who know can't go in. I heard that no one has entered the 9th Underworld Mountain for hundreds of years. Zhou Zhou said. Hundreds of years? Isn't that too exaggerated? Could it be that someone went in but did not spread the news? Wu Lingyu guessed. No, it said that to enter the 9th Underworld Mountain, one must have the bloodline of the 9th Underworld clan. Also, there are guards outside the 9th Underworld Mountain. They said that no one has entered for a long time. Zhou Zhou said with certainty. This was something that everyone in the Triangle region knew. Sima Yuyu touched her chin. She didn't know if her grandfather had gone in. And her mother, had she gone in? Is my grandmother on 9 Nether Mountain now? Little princess, are you going to the 9 Nether Mountain? Zhou Zhou asked. Yes. Originally, she didn't have any plans. However, when Yan Qi said that 9 Underworld's mountain was also in this area, she suddenly had an idea. Perhaps she could go and take a look. When the old ancestor had passed the underworld energy to her, he had hoped that she would lead the 9 Nether clan to prosperity. Now that he was here, how could he let go of this opportunity? TSK, I advise you to give up. Yenya sneered. Not just anyone can go to 9 Nether Mountain. Didn't you hear that one must have the bloodline of the 9 Nether clan? Can't I just think about it? Sima Yuyue looked at him. I said, I want to stay as a guest. Why aren't you going back to your soul society? Now that you've lost the evil soul, I'm afraid that Kuhi and the forces behind him won't let you off, right? Why aren't you going back to deal with it? The gloating on your face is too obvious. Can't you be a little more reserved? You know that they won't let me off. I can't go back now. Isn't that just asking for trouble? That's why I want to hide here for a while. Yenya said that he was afraid, but he didn't look worried at all. If you want to pretend, you should at least be more professional. Sima Yuyue said in disdain. He's from the Soul Clan? Then why is he with the little princess? Zhou asked. We met in the little realm. Then I don't know his identity. Although we can invite you as guests, we have to know his identity first. This is also the rule here. He's the second in command of the main sect, Yan Qi, Sima Yue said. Then, she pointed at Bandit 1 and said, this is the best array master in the Soul Society, Bandit 1. They are Yan Qi and Bandit 1? You know them. Then I don't need to introduce them anymore. Sima Yue said. Actually, no matter how much she wanted to say, she couldn't. Of course I know Yan Qi and Bandit 1. It's just that I haven't seen them before. Zhou smiled. They didn't expect Zhou and I to bring back so many powerful people. No wonder they were so confident. With Yan Qi and Bandit 1, even if they killed them, they would definitely lose many of their people. Luckily, the little princess wasn't someone who liked to fight. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. You don't have to care about us. We'll just go with them. Yan Qi said. At this moment, Zhou Hui came back. She said that the courtyard was ready and they could invite the guests over. Zhou personally sent them over and told them to tell him if they needed anything. He also said that he would personally bring them around the area. Patriarch Zhou, you're busy. You don't have to care about us. We'll go out when we want to. If there are any forbidden areas, just let us know in advance. Sima Yue said. All right. Zhou told them about the forbidden areas in the Zhou family. He said that if they needed him, they could call him. Then, Zhou planned to leave. Sima Yue stopped him and said, Patriarch Zhou, the people who escaped from you this time are called Ruins Valley. They're one of the 10 commanders under Qi He. They seem to have come to the triangular area to find some treasure. They've already left your territory. They had told them the person's identity and whereabouts. It was their own business whether to chase after them or not. Zhou left gratefully. I say, why do you want to stay? Yan Qi asked her. I want to stay. Sima Yue replied, I say, why do you want to stay with me? I want to stay. I want to stay. Yan Qi used her own words to reply. She was so angry that she almost died. Actually, they all knew that if they didn't figure out the situation here, how could they just leave? This was too out of character. You still want to deal with Ruins Valley? Yan Qi asked. So what if I do? You want to help me? Sima Yue snorted, or are you going to snitch? None of them. Yan Jin stretched and said lazily, I prefer to watch the fun. Since you want to follow me, you can't cause trouble for me. I'll say the ugly words up front. If anything happens to you, I won't help you. Everything else is up to you. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she returned to the house with Wu Lingyu. As soon as she entered, she said, Lingyu, quickly call Fuxi out and check on his condition. Wu Lingyu opened her little realm and brought Fuxi out. Yue, Lingyu, you finally let me out. Are you guys alright? Fuxi asked as soon as he came out. He had also sensed Wu Lingyu's injury in the little realm. Thus, he was extremely worried. He had been wondering if something had happened to her. He hadn't recovered yet. I'm fine. Sima Yue smiled at him. Sit down, I'll check on your body. Chapter 1978. Fuxi sat on the chair obediently and let her examine him. Actually, he could already feel the changes in his body, but he did not know how it was recovering. After Sima Yue finished examining him, her eyes lit up with joy. It seems like it's working, your body is already growing. Do you feel pain in your body recently? Yes. I feel pain in my bones, especially in my joints. However, you mentioned that this might happen before, so I wasn't worried. Fuxi replied. Yes. Now that it's growing, half of your problem is solved. Sima Yue said. What about the other half? Do you think it'll be fine as long as your body regains its growth? Sima Yue retracted her hand. MOU's seal can only protect you for half a year. 2 months have already passed, which means you only have 4 months left. We have to make your body strong enough in these 4 months, at least to be able to support the power in your body. Also, when the seal is removed, you have to let it merge perfectly with you, or else you won't be able to use this power. Fushi was touched. She had really considered everything for him. Don't be so touched, let's do today's electric shock first. Then I'll prepare a medicinal bath for you. Sima Yuyue said, you have to grit your teeth and persevere. Seeing you like this, I suddenly feel scared. Fushi had a bad feeling. It's not that scary. Sima Yuyue said, but the smile on her face did not seem to agree. Fushi wanted to protest, but he could not. After all, this was for his own body, so he could only grit his teeth and do it. Sima Yuyue let him lie on the bed and gave him electric shocks as usual, then let him rest while she prepared a medicinal bath for him. When she opened the door, she saw Yan Jin coming over. What are you doing? Why did you feel the lightning? Yan Jin asked. Saving people. Sima Yuyue moved aside, and Yan Jin saw Fushi inside. Fushi would be following her, so she could not be secretive now. As for the reason, there was no need to tell him. Who is this little kid? How did it appear? Yenya asked. Sima Yuyue briefly explained what happened in the little realm and then said, I still have something to do. In other words, since you already know, you can leave now. What do you want? I'll help you. Sima Yuyue, in the end, he was driven away by her. How could she let him see what she wanted to do? She knew that Yan Qi was now curious about her. He wanted to know more about her situation and learn more about her. She would be a fool to let him come. She knew that there was a natural hot spring bath here, so she went to take a look. She felt that using it as a medicinal bath would be better, so she took out a wooden bucket and poured the hot spring water into it. Then, she refined the medicinal herbs one by one and poured them in. By the time she was done, the sky was already dark. She asked Wu Lingyu to carry Fushi over. Take off his clothes and put him inside. Sima Yuyue ordered without raising her head as she checked the silver needles. Wu Lingyu stripped Fushi naked, leaving only his underwear, and threw him into the water. Ah, the intense pain made Fushi cry out, but he forced himself to endure it. However, his smiling face was pale from the pain. His whole body was already in pain after the anesthetic effect wore off. Now that he was thrown into the water, he felt as if his entire body was no longer his own. Sima Yuyue pushed a small table over and said, although this medicinal bath is very painful, the effect is very good. Moreover, with your body that was just electrocuted, the effect will be doubled. At the same time, the pain will also be doubled. Fushi nodded slightly. In order to survive, he had to endure it. Sima Yuyue saw that he was in so much pain and stuffed a towel into his mouth. Don't bite your mouth. Fushi bit the towel and they could hear him gurgling. Wu Lingyu glanced at him, his eyes filled with praise. He knew how painful this medicinal bath was. In the past, he had been tortured by Old Man Devil. Not to mention that he had just been electrocuted and his body was already injured. However, other than the cry he made when he was in the water, he had not made any other sound. This guy's willpower was not bad. I'll give you acupuncture now to speed up the absorption and reduce the pain. Sima Yuyue said. Fushi nodded slightly. Sima Yuyue inserted needles into his exposed areas. His skinny shoulders and head were densely packed with needles. How are you feeling now? Much better. Fushi bit the towel and could not speak clearly, but Sima Yuyue could still understand. The pain had lessened, but it was still very painful. She did not know how long it would take for it to end. Just as he was about to lose consciousness, he felt someone carry him, wipe his body, and put him on a soft bed. Then, she finally fell into a deep sleep. For him, this night was the most difficult night he had ever had in years. In the past, everyone around him felt sorry for him and could not bear to see him in so much pain. Even the slightest discomfort would make their hearts ache for a long time. If they knew that he was in such a state, they would probably jump out of their seats. Fortunately, the pain was not in vain. After sleeping for a day and a night, he woke up and realized that the injuries from the electrocution were mostly healed and did not hurt anymore. Ugh, he felt that his body was still a little heavy and his head was a little dizzy. Thinking about what he had gone through, he could not help but shiver. Other than receiving the Dragon God order, he had never been in so much pain in his life. Sima Yuyue pushed the door open and saw that he was awake. She said, "You're awake? Just in time to eat porridge." Fushi saw that she was carrying a tray and felt a little hungry after hearing what she said. He sat up and realized that he was not wearing any clothes. His little face turned red. Sima Yuyue saw that he was shy and held back her laughter. She placed the porridge on the table and sat down with her back facing him. She said, "Which part of your body have I not seen before? Hurry up, the porridge is going to turn cold and it will affect the efficacy of the medicine." Fushi's face turned even redder. Although he looked like a child, his mental age was 250 years old. How embarrassed would he be if she said that? Although he was grumbling in his heart, he quickly took out a set of clean clothes and put them on. He then went to wash up before sitting beside Sima Yuyue. Sima Yuyue had already scooped a bowl of porridge for him. There was a bowl of medicinal porridge and 3 light dishes. "It smells so good. What porridge is this?" Fushi asked. "This is a medicinal porridge specially made for your condition." Sima Yuyue said, "Are you feeling a little dizzy now? You'll feel better after eating this." "You made all of this?" Fushi drank a mouthful of porridge. It tasted extraordinarily good. "Yeah." Fushi's smile deepened and he felt warm in his heart. She was so good to him. Chapter 1979. Actually, he knew that Sima Yuyue was so nice to him because she promised to save him and because he was recommended by the old principal. But more importantly, he gave her the Northern God's seal. Without it, she wouldn't be so devoted to him. Brother Lingyu is so lucky. He envied Wu Lingyu for being loved by Sima Yuyue. "I'm very lucky too." Sima Yuyue saw that he finished the porridge in a few gulps and gave him another bowl. "You can only eat this bowl. You just woke up and your body has been through so much. Eat less now." "Okay." Fushi drank 2 small bowls of porridge and felt a warm feeling spread from his stomach to his whole body. It cleared his muddled mind. "Yuyue, you're amazing. I feel like you know everything." "How can I know everything? I'm not omnipotent. It's just that what you see is what I know." Sima Yuyue said, "You should digest the medicine in your body properly. We'll continue in a few days." Fushi felt a little weak when he thought about the pain from the electric shock and the medicine bath. Sima Yuyue smiled and said, "Do you feel your body's condition now?" Hearing her say this, Fushi immediately sensed it and found that his body was much stronger than before. This effect could be said to be immediate. He was pleasantly surprised and said excitedly, "How can this be? This is great. This process is very painful, but you have to endure it. After all, we don't have much time left." Sima Yuyue said. Yes. Fushi liked the way she said, "we." It was clearly his problem, but she treated it as if it was a problem between the two of them. It felt so close to her. "I've already told Master Zhou that I'll be staying here for a few months. If you want to go out, don't wander around, understand?" "Okay, I understand." Sima Yuyue reminded him a few more times before leaving. Fushi's injuries were not completely healed. After she left, he climbed back into bed to rest. He lay on the bed and looked at the top of the mosquito net. Then, he brought his hands to his eyes, clenched them, released them, and clenched them again. Then, he chuckled. That's great, finally, there was hope for survival. Finally, he didn't have to worry about dying when his body couldn't take it anymore. How nice. Sima Yuyue returned to her room. Wu Lingyu was reading a book inside. When she saw Sima Yue, she snorted and said, "You're so nice to him." Knowing that he was about to wake up, she cooked the porridge and sent it to him. "Why don't I get injured too?" "All right, if you're injured, I'll cook porridge for you too." "You can try," Sima Yue replied. I saw that there was no medicinal porridge, but there was a plank. Sima Yue gave him a knowing look. Whenever she thought of Fushi, she would think of the North Divine Seal and her mood would drop. Sigh. She couldn't help but sigh. What would she do if he told her that the Northern Divine Seal in her hands was not real? "Don't worry." Wu Lingyu held her hand. "I don't want to think about it, but I just can't help it. No matter when, I'll be here. If there's really no other way, I'll call all the people from the devil world over and flip over the Avicii hell. We'll be able to save your mother. How can the devil world make such a big fuss just because of me?" Although she said that, she was still very happy that he said so. "How is this your problem?" "It's my problem. I'm still waiting for your mother to be released so that I can marry you. This is a matter that concerns my lifelong happiness," Wu Lingyu said with a serious face. "Pfft, smooth talker." Sima Yue poked his head and finally laughed. Wu Lingyu hugged her and let her sit on his lap. He stole a kiss on her lips and said, "I did so well, shouldn't I be rewarded? Didn't you just ask for it?" Sima Yue stared at him. That's not enough. As they spoke, their lips were already entangled together. When Yan Jin and Bandit came over, they only saw Huan staring at the sky in a daze in the courtyard. "She's not free now," Huan said. "I have business with her. Come back later." Huan was determined not to let the two go over. "Then let's wait here." Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu heard the movement outside and separated. Sima Yue glared at him. It was all his fault. She didn't even need to think to know that her lips must look red and swollen. It's okay." Wu Lingyu wiped her red lips and smiled charmingly. Yan Jin and Bandit waited for a while before Sima Yue opened the door and asked, "What's the matter?" At a glance, Yan Jin saw her lips, which were redder than usual, and immediately understood why Huan stopped him. "Bandit 1 and I are going out for a walk. Do you want to come with us?" Yan Jin asked. Sima Yue wanted to say no, but she thought that she didn't need to care about Fushi's affairs now. She asked Huan to stay here and protect him. She and Lingyu went with them. Since they were here, it was better for them to go out and understand the situation. Huan wanted to go with them, but he couldn't ignore Sima Yue's order. Thinking that she now had an ancient war soul, he agreed. As soon as Sima Yue and the other three left the courtyard, the Zhou family knew. Zhou thought about it and didn't let anyone disturb them. He just asked people to pay attention to their situation. Since they chose to go out by themselves, they shouldn't disturb them. Patriarch, she can do whatever she wants. Even if the little princess is the daughter of the Dark Princess, we don't have to treat her so politely, right? The second elder was impatient and asked directly. "You?" Zhou pointed at him. "We treat her well, so naturally we won't lose out. Isn't it just repaying a debt of gratitude? Is there a need to do this?" The second elder didn't understand. We are also people here. Even if she is a princess, we don't have to flatter her too much." "But what if she is related to the Jiuyu clan?" "The Jiuyu clan? How can it be? Why not? Are you so sure?" Zhou asked. "Do you know something, Patriarch?" The second elder asked. "I'm just guessing." Zhou said, "If she is related to the Jiuyu clan, we should treat her well now. It's better than waiting for our relationship to be exposed." "But what if she has nothing to do with the Jiuyu clan? Or their relationship isn't good, and they are even worried? Won't that bring us trouble?" "What trouble will there be? When the time comes, we can say that we are treating her well now not because of her mother's kindness to us, right? We are just repaying the kindness and won't get involved in her grievances." The second elder's eyes lit up. "Patriarch, you are so thoughtful. Their plan was very good, but they soon regretted it. They were caught off guard by reality. Chapter 1980. For the rest of the time, Sima Yuyue treated Fushi and rarely went out. On the other hand, Yan Qi and Bandit 1 often went out. In the first month, she gave Fushi electric shocks every half a month, a big medicinal bath every 10 days, and a normal medicinal bath every 3 days. In the second month, she gave him electric shocks every 10 days, a big medicinal bath every 5 days, and a small medicinal bath every day. In the third month, she gave him electric shocks every 5 days, a big medicinal bath every 3 days, and a small medicinal bath every day. In the fourth month, she changed the electric shocks to every 3 days. As her treatment improved, Fushi's body changed at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was not that he grew taller, but the aura on his body became stronger. He was no longer an ordinary child. Fushi now had a certain degree of adaptability to the electric current. The initial intensity of the electric current would make him lie down for 10 days to half a month, but now he only felt a little pain. Yuyue, I feel that I can now break a big rock with my palm. Fushi waved his hand happily in the bathtub. Don't move, I'm not done yet. Sima Yuyue patted his head and continued to collect the needles. Hee hee. Fushi smiled and retracted his hand, quietly letting her collect the needles. Sima Yuyue collected all the silver needles and turned around to pack up. She said to him, "You can get up now." Thinking back, he fainted the first time, but now he could stay awake. This improvement was really fast. Ugh, there was no rustling sound behind her, but Fushi groaned in pain. She turned around and saw Fushi holding the bathtub in pain. What happened to you? She walked over to see if she did something wrong. Fushi grabbed her hand, his face was pale. Yuyue, the power of the dragon god is coming out. Sima Yuyue estimated that it would happen in a few days. Hearing this, her hanging heart was half relieved. So it's this. She retracted her hand, took out a golden pill and stuffed it into his mouth. This was refined for you before, it can help you absorb the power of the dragon god. Once you've absorbed all the power, you'll truly possess it. Fushi felt that after eating the pill, the power seemed to have calmed down a little. However, it did not completely submit to him. It was still resisting, running all over his body, attacking his meridians, internal organs, and every inch of his flesh and bones. He tried to control them and guide them into his dantian, but the divine dragon's power was too fierce and he couldn't control it at all. He remembered that when he was 7 years old, he had also experienced the same pain. It should be said that it was even more painful. At that time, he had fainted and did not know what had happened. However, when he woke up, he knew that it was his master and the others who had saved him. Moreover, his master and the others had been in seclusion for a long time. It was only now that he truly understood how much effort his master had put into controlling the divine dragon's power. If he could survive this, he would definitely treat them better in the future. If he could really make it through this hurdle, the more he tried to suppress it, the more the dragon god's power resisted. Just as he was about to lose control, a scorching energy flowed into his body from his wrist. He opened his eyes with difficulty and saw Sima Yuyue's bright eyes filled with encouragement. Don't panic. She comforted him softly. His originally desperate and panicked heart calmed down. In this life, he would never forget this pair of eyes, never forget this scene. Sima Yuyue used her spiritual power to wrap the vermilion bird's flame into his body. Although it was only a strand, every second consumed 10% of her spiritual power. Very soon, she was feeling a little tired. She took out a bunch of pills and swallowed them, then controlled the flame to approach the dragon god's power. The power that was originally running wild in Fushi's body, perhaps still had the consciousness of the dragon god. When it saw the vermilion bird's flame, it was first excited, then it calmed down and allowed her to guide it into his dantian. When a little went in, the rest followed. When Sima Yuyue saw that the rest of the power did not go berserk, she was relieved and retreated. The moment the vermilion bird's flame left Fushi's body, she couldn't support her body and fell backwards. Yue, Fushi opened his eyes and saw her fall to the ground. He wanted to get up, but found that he was being controlled and couldn't move at all. At the same time, Wu Lingyu suddenly appeared beside her and hugged her unconscious body. He looked at her and said, "Don't let her efforts go to waste." After saying that, he carried her to the bed and gave her a pill. Seeing that she didn't react, his eyes were as deep as water. Fushi understood what Wu Lingyu meant. If he stopped now, the dragon god's power might go out of control again, and Yoyue's efforts would go to waste. He had no way out now and could only continue. Thinking of this, he calmed down and continued to guide the spiritual power into his dantian. With the influx of power, he felt that his strength was increasing. This was the power that belonged to him. Finally, he was no longer the host of this power. When he had completely absorbed the power in his body, his aura had completely changed. He opened his eyes and a sharp light flashed in them. It took a while for it to fade away. He waited for his aura to stabilize before immediately getting out of the bathtub. He put on his clothes and walked to the bed. He looked at Sima Yue and asked, "How is she?" She overused her spiritual power and completely collapsed. Wu Lingyu answered him. "It's all because of me." Fushi blamed himself. If it wasn't for guiding the power in his body, she wouldn't be like this. Using spiritual power to envelop the vermilion bird's flame, he knew how much energy it took to do that. Not to mention protecting him from being injured and guiding the dragon god's power into his dantian. She really did a lot for him. This is her own choice. Wu Lingyu said lightly. If blaming him could make her wake up, then he would. But it was useless. Although Wu Lingyu said this, Fushi still felt sorry for her and asked, "Do you need us to do anything?" "No need." She rejected him directly. So hurt. Wu Lingyu didn't care about his feelings and continued, "Go and pack up those things." Fushi wanted to guard Sima Yue, but after being glanced at by Wu Lingyu, he obediently left. When Huan came in, Sima Yue was still not awake. He took out a jade bottle and said, "Let her drink this." Wu Lingyu didn't know what it was, but she knew that Huan wouldn't harm her, so she fed her the liquid inside. After drinking the whole bottle, her aura became much more stable, but she showed no signs of waking up. Huan saw Wu Lingyu looking at him and said, "She's hurt too deeply. She won't wake up so soon." After half a day, Sima Yue woke up and saw Wu Lingyu's worried eyes when she opened her eyes. Chapter 1981. In 1 second, she remembered, "Love divided by you?" Read book web quick update, no pop-up window, free to read. Yue, how do you feel? My head, it hurts. Her voice was weak, as if she was being pricked by needles. Of course it hurts, you've overdrawn your mental strength. Huan's face was dark. You've always been very sensible, this time, how could you? When he saw that Sima Yue was still smiling at him, he couldn't vent the anger in his heart. Is Fushi okay? She asked. You're about to die, why do you care about others? Yan Jin came out from the side and snorted. He knew that Sima Yue had done these things for Fushi, but he did not expect that she would make herself like this. Moreover, that little fellow was obviously not an ordinary person. Seeing him today, it was obvious that his entire person was different. I'm happy. Sima Yue glared at him. If it were not for her body, she would have replied to him. Yue, I'm here, I'm fine. Fushi came to the bedside, his eyes were red, his nose was red, and his eyelashes were still wet. It was obvious that he had just cried. Except for his two masters, no one had ever been so good to him. Although those people admired his identity and status, how many of them were sincere? And she had almost lost her life for him. At the thought of this, he felt like crying. Sima Yue saw that he was fine, smiled slightly, and then fell asleep again. Seeing her sleep like this, Fushi's tears flowed down again. He never knew that he would cry when he saw a weak person. Little guy, she saved you, and you paid her. You should have seen this kind of thing a lot. Do you cry every time? Yen Jin teased. No. Then why are you crying? I mean, those people would not treat me like this. Fushi said, I've seen at least 299 doctors, but no one treated me like this. He had also paid them a lot of money, but they all took the things and left. Perhaps they had put in a lot of effort, but no one could do this for him. There was only her, so he would only cry for her. After that, Zhou and the others also came to visit her. Although they were curious as to how she ended up like this, everyone was willing to answer their questions, so they left after some polite words. After that, he sent over a lot of medicinal herbs that were useful for mental strength. Wu Lingyu collected the herbs and refined them into pills for Yuyue. Sima Yuyue slept for 3 days before waking up. Wu Lingyu was wiping her hands. Seeing her open her eyes, he asked, You're awake? How long have I been asleep? Sima Yuyue stretched out her hand, wanting to rub her aching head. There were already fingers massaging her temples. Including the first day, it's been 4 days. Wu Lingyu rubbed her head. How do you feel? Do you feel better? I feel much better, but I still feel nauseous and dizzy. Sima Yuyue leaned on his palm. You're not allowed to do such things again. You scared us all. Although Wu Lingyu did not say it, Sima Yuyue knew that he was angry. I know, there won't be a next time. Sima Yuyue said, but I thought that I would go to the chaos world again. Last time, her mental strength had been overdrawn, so she went to the chaos world and was brought out by him. At that time, she did not realize that she was very dependent on him. How can it be so easy to go to the chaos world? You were just lucky that time. Wu Lingyu said. Lingyu, I feel that it was not a coincidence that I went to the chaos world. There should be a reason. Sima Yuyue said, maybe it has something to do with my identity. You mean the Nine Nether Clan? Yes. The Nine Nether Clan is actually the Black Lotus Clan. The Black Lotus was born in the Chaos River. Whether it is or not, you can't verify it now. Alright, don't think so much. Do you want to rest for a while more? Wu Lingyu asked. No, my head hurts even if I sleep more. Sima Yuyue shook her head slightly. What about Fushi? How is he? He has completely recovered. He has absorbed the divine dragon's power and his body is growing normally. He came for you to treat him. Now that he has been treated, he can leave. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yuyue was stunned. He's leaving? Should be soon. Fushi heard him outside and pursed his lips. Sima Yuyue's mental strength was injured and did not know that he was outside. This guy definitely knew. He said that on purpose for him to hear. He did not want to go back. He wanted to follow her. He walked in and said with a smile, Yuyue, you're awake. If you didn't wake up, I would have to commit suicide to atone for my sins. Will you? Sima Yuyue sat up. Your new life has just begun. Can you bear to do that? For you, Yuyue, of course I can bear to do that. Fushi said seriously. But aren't you going to leave? Leave? Where to? I want to follow you. Fushi shouted, Yuyue, are you chasing me away? You've already recovered. Why aren't you leaving? Your master and the rest should be waiting for you, right? Wu Lingyu raised his eyebrows and chased him away. It seems like I've recovered, but who knows if something will happen again in the future. After all, this is something that no one has experienced before. If something happens, what will I do? I won't be able to find you then. Fushi looked at her pitifully. That's true. Your situation has never happened before and there are no records. I can't be sure if you've recovered. Sima Yuyue said, then let's observe for a while. Also, I think that after absorbing the divine dragon's power, your bloodline might change in the future. Will it awaken the bloodline in my body? Will I turn into a dragon? Fushi shouted. Sima Yuyue was surprised. you have the bloodline of the dragon clan in your body? It's said that my ancestor has it, but no one has seen it. Fushi said. I think it's very likely. After all, the divine dragon order wouldn't choose you for no reason. Sima Yuyue said, if that's the case, then we have to observe your future situation. Don't be in a hurry to go back. Okay. Fushi agreed and smiled at Wu Lingyu. That smile was very proud. Yuyue, are you awake? Yan Jin's voice came from outside. Sima Yuyue gave Fushi a look and he immediately went out. Very quickly, Yan Jin walked in carrying a child covered in blood. When he saw that Sima Yuyue had woken up, he casually placed the child on a stool, saying, take a look. Can this child be saved? The child looked about the same size as Fushi. He was covered in wounds and his facial features were unrecognizable. His clothes were tattered and there was no place left untouched. He leaned weakly on the chair and fainted. Chapter 1982. Sima Yuyue shifted her gaze away from the child and looked at Yan Jin. What's going on? Where did you bring him back? Why are you so cold? They're both children, but your attitude towards Fushi and this little guy is so different. Yan Jin said. My head is still hurting, why did you suddenly bring me someone covered in wounds? Sima Yuyue frowned. If he's from the Zhou family, why don't you just hand him over to the head of the Zhou family? He's not from the Zhou family. I met him when I was wandering outside. I pitied him, so I brought him back. Yan Jin said. You're the second in command of the main sect. You've killed countless people. Why would you pity a child? Do you even believe your own words? Sima Yuyue rolled her eyes at him. Of course I believe it. If you don't say it properly, then you'll have to solve your own problems. Sima Yuyue leaned on Wu Lingyu, still very weak. I'm not spouting nonsense. I picked him up from the outside. Yan Jin saw that Sima Yuyue had decisively closed her eyes and hurriedly said, when I came back from outside just now, I saw two children being chased on the road. The older one risked his life to protect the younger one and my heart softened, so I saved him. Sima Yuyue stared at Yan Jin for a while. All right, I'll treat him. As she spoke, she got up from Wu Lingyu's body and went to the little boy's side. When she saw the wounds all over his body, she shook her head and sighed. How could you do this to such a young child? Move him to your bed. Why go to my bed? Wait, does that mean you agree? Yan Jin was surprised. He didn't say anything just now, did he? Didn't you think of yourself? You were dazed for a moment just now. Sima Yuyue returned to the bed. If you don't want him to go to your place, then move him to Bandit 1's bed. Bandit 1 stared at Yan Jin, as if he wanted to challenge him. Isn't there an empty room next to yours? Let's do it here. You don't have to go so far. Aren't you still injured? In the end, Yan Jin placed the child beside Sima Yuyue. Very quickly, Sima Yuyue came over. She saw that Yan Ju had already taken off his clothes. She first took his pulse before taking out 2 pills for him to eat. Then, he took out the first aid kit and treated all of his external injuries. By the time she was done, she was even more dispirited. All right. I've done everything I can. Take 1 pill a day and leave the rest to time. She put away the rest of the gauze, and her body swayed. Wu Lingyu hurried to her side, bent down, and picked her up, bringing her back to her room. You are not allowed to get out of bed for a month. 1 month? I'll get moldy. 2 days. Half a month. 5 days. 10 days, that's the minimum. Otherwise, I'll tie you to the bed. All right, 10 days it is. He's too lenient with her. How can 10 days be enough for her to recover? Fushi muttered. However, with her personality, it's good enough that she can stay in bed for 10 days. Bandit 1's evaluation was very sharp. That's true. 10 days, this person should be fine by now, right? Hopefully, he won't cause any trouble. Bandit 1 looked at the child who was wrapped up like a mummy and thought of the people who were chasing after him. He prayed that they wouldn't catch up so quickly. There's indeed something wrong with this child. Fushi shouted. I'm going to tell Yuyue. You think she doesn't know? Yen Jin glanced at her calmly. She knew before the treatment. Then why is she still messing around with you? This is called saving a life is better than building a 7-floor pagoda. How is this messing around? You're just a child who doesn't learn to be good all the time. Why are you so talkative? I'm just afraid that you'll cause trouble and affect her recovery. If you cause trouble, solve it yourself. Don't disturb her. Fushi turned and left after saying that. This aura, TSK, how was this the obedient child in front of Sima Yuyue? But now, he was a little worried. Those people seemed to be determined to get the two siblings. He was afraid that it wouldn't be long before they found this place. He only hoped that it wouldn't affect her recovery. Otherwise, Wu Lingyu and Huan would probably come after him. Sima Yuyue was placed on the bed by Wu Lingyu. She lay down obediently, pulled on his clothes, and looked at him with a smile. Lingyu, I want to sleep. Then sleep. Wu Lingyu said coldly. You stay with me. I still have something to do. I want to hug you to sleep. I can't sleep without you. Sima Yuyue looked at him with grievance. If he continued to give her that look, she would probably cry. Wu Lingyu looked at her. His eyebrows were full of tiredness. No matter how angry he was, it was because of his heartache. He sighed, took off his shoes, and lay down beside her. Sima Yuyue smiled, rubbed in his arms like a kitten, and then lay down on his shoulder and fell asleep. Wu Lingyu lay flat on the bed. His left shoulder was used as a pillow for her, and his left hand was around her body. Sima Yuyue lay on her side. Her left hand was around his waist. She didn't sleep very well. Wu Lingyu wanted to touch her cheek with his right hand, but after thinking about it, he changed it to holding her left hand. The anger in his heart couldn't be vented. In the end, he could only turn it into a long sigh. When Sima Yuyue was completely asleep, he slimmed his numb arm back. He took a pillow for her and got out of bed. He found Yen Jin and said, "What's wrong with this child?" Yen Jin saw his serious expression and knew that he couldn't avoid it. He could only tell the whole story. He thought that Wu Lingyu would be angry after hearing the story. He didn't expect that Wu Lingyu would turn around and leave after hearing the story. Instead, he was confused. He just left like that? He didn't say anything. Why didn't he express his opinion? He just wants to know what's going on. Bandit 1 guessed. This man, really? Yen Jin wanted to say something, but in the end, he found that he was speechless. He pampered her a little too much. He was clearly worried and angry, but he still went along with her. After settling her down, he took care of the aftermath for her. As a man, he couldn't do this for a woman. Sima Yuyue slept very comfortably this time. Perhaps it was because of the effect of the pill, or perhaps it was because the matter in front of her was temporarily resolved, or perhaps it was because her body needed her to recover quickly, and sleep was a good way to recover mental strength. In short, she slept very soundly until she was woken up by a commotion. She opened her eyes. She didn't know how long she had slept, but she felt refreshed when she woke up. I don't know what Lingyu gave me to eat. How did I recover so quickly? She sat up and heard a commotion outside, mixed with the crying of a child. Remember the mobile version of the website. Chapter 1983. Everyone welcomes your presence. Please remember the address of this website so that you can read the latest chapters of Crazy Wife, 5th Miss Miracle Doctor, at any time. Bad people. You bad people. Let go of my sister. The child's cry was laced with tears. Patriarch Zhou, this child is a slave that we bought. I advise you to leave him alone. This. Patriarch Yen, since this child belongs to them, don't you think it's better for them to take him back? Zhou hesitated for a moment but still chose to stand against them. I saved this child. Do you think you can take him away just because you want to? Although Yan Jin really wanted to get rid of the crying child who was hugging his leg, he held himself back when he saw how the child was trembling. Yan Jin, this is not your main sect. Do you know what will happen to you if you offend us? A sharp voice shouted. Yan Jin snorted, not taking their threat seriously. Yan Jin, don't be so shameless. Are you worthy of my respect? Yan Jin looked at him with contempt. Yan Jin. Someone shouted. This was an insult to them. Yan Qi, we're only speaking nicely to you now because you're a guest of the Zhou clan. If you insist on going against us, don't blame us for being rude. Oh. How are you going to be rude? Are you going to take us back? Humph, the man snorted coldly, then said to Zhou, Patriarch Zhou, please don't interfere in this matter. If our patriarch finds out about this, I'm afraid he'll take his anger out on the Zhou family. Patriarch Zhou, you don't want to make us your enemy because of a few outsiders, do you? Patriarch Zhou was filled with regret. He had thought that nothing would happen if he only entertained Yue and the others. He could even get closer to them. Who would have thought that they would be related to the big families here? It was all Yan Jin's fault. Why did he have to save this child? Patriarch Zhou? The man called out when he saw that Patriarch Zhou was silent. Zhou hesitated for a moment, then apologized to Yan Jin and took a step back. This step made it very clear that the Zhou family would not interfere in this matter. They were free to do whatever they wanted. Yan Jin wasn't surprised by Zhou's decision. People like him would always choose what they thought was beneficial to them. However, they would soon taste the bitter fruit of their choice. These people were not surprised by Zhou's choice. The Zhou clan was just a small clan here. How would they dare to go against a big clan like theirs? Do it. No matter what, you have to bring him back today. Once the order was given, these people moved to capture the child. Yan Qi took out his jade flute and prepared to attack. Did I say we could fight here? Wu Lingyu had been standing in the corridor, watching Yan Jin and the others with cold eyes. Now that they were about to make a move, he spoke up to stop them. Yan Jin turned to look at him and shrugged. This is not what I want. You see, I've been trying my best to reconcile. It's useless. Wu Lingyu said disdainfully. No one knew if he was referring to the fact that Yan Jin had been found and it was useless, or if he was referring to the fact that it was useless today and it was useless to solve the problem. And who are you? Wu Lingyu ignored the speaker and said to Yan Jin, I told you not to disturb her. I'm sorry, you, creak. Sima Yoyue's door opened and she walked out. Looking at the people in the courtyard, she said, what are you arguing about? Do you know you're disturbing my sleep? Did we disturb you? Wu Lingyu walked over and put an arm around her shoulder. I'm almost done sleeping. Sima Yue smiled at him. How long have I slept? 7 days. 7 days? I slept for so long. She thought it would be 3 or 4 days at most. She did not expect it to be 7 days. This was a little unreasonable. I added some calming medicine to the pills you took. Wu Lingyu explained. I see. I was wondering why I slept so well. I thought this little noise wouldn't disturb you, but it still woke you up. The effect of the medicine has almost been absorbed. It was the effect of the medicine that calmed the nerves. Do you still feel uncomfortable? I'm completely fine. That's good. I should say, it's good to have you here. Seeing the two of them talking as if no one else was around, the others did not look happy. Don't bother about those two. Bring the child here first. Yan Jin smiled at Sima Yue. Since you're awake, I can do whatever I want. Sima Yue pouted. Although I'm curious about who these people are talking about and what happened, let's talk about it after you settle it. All right. Yan Jin smiled. Although Sima Yu didn't know what was going on, she could roughly guess it. Her words meant that she agreed with him. No matter what, she trusted him. Was it because they were on the same side? No matter what the reason was, he was happy to have such trust in him. He put the jade flute to his lips. The melodious sound of the flute rushed towards those people with a cold aura. The aura was actually a real attack. Bang! The ground of the courtyard was directly smashed into a pit. Those people dodged at the last moment. Master Yan's musical attack is indeed extraordinary. The people on the other side were furious. An outsider dared to defy them. Yan Jin did not waste time talking to them and continued to play the flute. Notes flew out one after another, forcing those people into a desperate situation. Master Zhou, are you just going to watch? Those people could not hold on any longer and shouted at Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou did not expect them to fight just like that. Moreover, it was in the Zhou family's territory. Before he could decide whether to help or who to help, the Zhao family had already called out. You don't have to call him. He won't help you today no matter what. Yan Jin stopped and admired their predicament. Zhou Zhou, do you want to be enemies with us? The Zhao family was in a difficult situation. Hearing his words, they directed their anger at Zhou Zhou. Master Zhao, how can I be enemies with the Zhao family? You can't just say that. Zhou Zhou quickly explained. Then why didn't you do anything just now? Pfft, if she didn't wake up just now, he might have done something. But now, this is her idea. If he makes a move, then the Zhou family will be regarded as ungrateful. Yan Jin kindly explained to them. The Zhao family looked at Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou nodded, that's right. The Dark Princess has helped us before. I can't just stand by and watch. So you still want to be enemies with us? No, no. Master Zhao, you misunderstood. What I mean is that the Dark Princess has helped us before. My Zhou family must repay her kindness today. As for the future, the Zhou family will not interfere in these matters. Chapter 1984. Zhou Zhou felt like his heart was bleeding. His words meant that he no longer had anything to do with Sima Yue. Then all his efforts over the past few months would have been in vain. Not to mention anything else, just the amount of medicine that Sima Yue had to spend while she was injured was enough to make his heart ache for a long time. Sima Yue already knew about Zhou Zhou's plan, so she didn't sympathize with him when she saw his pained expression. If he didn't scheme against her, how could he have gotten such an outcome? However, little princess, even if I won't help them this time, I can't let you kill them. Zhou Zhou added, also, you can't stay in the Zhou family anymore. If anything happens because of this child in the future, forgive me for not being able to stand on your side. Sima Yue smiled and nodded, we've disturbed the Zhou family for so long, it's time for us to leave. Zhou Zhou felt his face burning and his heart throbbing in pain. Yan Jin, we're about to leave, why don't you hurry up and settle the matter? Sima Yue said. All right. I'll have to fight seriously this time. Yan Jin put away his jade flute and took out a jade flute. The Zhao family who were barely holding on were quickly defeated. Just as Yan Jin was about to give them the final blow, Zhou Zhou moved. He dispersed Yan Jin's notes and said, Yan Jin, I've said it before, we can't kill anyone today. Yan Jin stopped, all right, although you did it to repay our kindness, you've still treated us well for a few months. I still have to give you some face. Fushi, have you packed your things? Sima Yue asked. It's already packed, Fushi replied obediently. Then let's go. Sima Yue turned to look at Zhou Zhou, Patriarch Zhou, thank you for your hospitality. You've already repaid my mother's kindness today. If there's any conflict in the future, I believe you won't hold back. Goodbye. Huan opened a spatial tunnel and Sima Yue walked in with a group of people. Seeing them leave, Zhou Zhou hurriedly went to help the Zhao family. This Yan Qi, when I return and report to the Patriarch, I'll make sure he dies without a burial ground. Zhou Zhou helped Zhao Rui up, but he felt pain all over his body. He shook off Zhou Zhou's hand and shouted, Patriarch Zhou, are you going to let them go just like that? When I go back, I will also report this matter to the Patriarch. Let's see if your Zhou clan can withstand the Patriarch's anger. Zhou Zhou quickly smiled apologetically. Young Master Zhao, as you can see, I don't have a choice either. We didn't know that they had offended the Zhao family. Now that we have repaid the Dark Princess, we won't be biased towards them anymore. If the Zhao family needs anything, my Zhou family will be willing to risk our lives to help. Zhao Rui snorted coldly, but his anger subsided a lot. Big brother, now is not the time to be angry. Capturing them is the most important thing. Someone stepped forward and reminded him. You're right. Zhao Rui said, Patriarch Zhou, you didn't care just now. Now that he's gone, you've repaid your debt. Didn't you just say that if we need it, your Zhou clan will do anything for us? Now, I want you to go kill them. Are you willing? Zhou Zhou complained in his heart, but did he dare to refuse? But they were still outsiders. The Zhao family was the real tough bone in this area. He called the Great Elder over and ordered him to bring people to kill Sima Yue and the others. Other than the child that the Zhao family wanted, the others were to die. The Great Elder was outside before, so he knew what was going on. Although he felt that it was too fast for him to send people to kill them as soon as they left the Zhou family, he didn't have the guts to not do it. Thus, he went out and gathered some people, ordering them to immediately find Sima Yue and the others. Zhao Rui was satisfied with the Zhou family's attitude. He rubbed his aching chest and said to the Zhao family, let's go back. Young Master Zhao, you're still injured. Why don't we send people to the Zhao family and report this matter to the family? You can go back when you're better. Zhou Zhou said. No, there are many things that I have to report personally. Zhao Rui ignored Zhou Zhua and left the Zhou family with the Zhao family. After everyone left, the Great Elder walked forward and looked at the courtyard that was destroyed by the battle. He sighed and wanted to say something, but his heart felt stifled. The Patriarch was probably even more stifled than him. It was really, sigh, Sima Yue and the others didn't walk far before they came out of the space tunnel. Yenya looked at the surrounding scenery and said, we're not out of the Zhou family's territory yet. We've already walked so far. Is the Zhou family that big? Sima Yue asked. It's not that the Zhou family is that big. It's just that Huan chose the furthest direction from them. Yenya had figured out the Zhou family's territory during this period of time, so he could tell at a glance. Then we're really lucky. Sima Yue said, if we don't come out, then so be it. They weren't afraid of the Zhou family's power anyway, so it didn't matter if they were caught. They didn't have to make themselves look like fugitives. Then where are we going now? Yenya asked. We have to figure out the situation first before we can determine the direction of our next step. The sun was too bright, so Sima Yue went to the side of a big tree and sat on the exposed roots, waiting for them to tell her the whole story. Wu Lingyu came to her side and sat down. Fuxi ran to her other side and sat down. He took out a few walnuts and stuffed half of them into her hand. Then, he lowered his head and began to peel and eat them. Sima Yue didn't eat the walnuts and just played with them in her hand. Wu Lingyu left 2 for her and took the rest. He picked out the pulp and put it in her hand. Yue, his name is Hai Shi, and his sister is Hai Xing. Yenya pushed Hai Shi in front of Sima Yue and said, you should ask him what's going on. Yenya, do you think that I won't settle the score with you just because you're using a child as a shield? Sima Yue glanced at him, or rather, it's best for me to leave you now. Don't. If you leave me now, wouldn't we have saved you for nothing? Yenya felt that he was much better than before. If it wasn't for Hai Shi, he would be like a fish in water here. But with Hai Shi, he could guarantee his own safety, but he might not be able to protect Hai Shi. Tell me what's going on first. Sima Yue took the walnuts that Wu Lingyu had peeled. She ate one and fed Wu Lingyu another. Hai-shi, you should tell her. Yenya patted Hai-shi's head. Although Hai-shi was very young, he was very smart. He could tell that Sima Yu was the one in charge. He came in front of her and knelt down with a plop. He kowtowed to her 3 times. I know. My injury was healed by you. Thank you. Actually, my sister and I were bought by the Zhao family. Remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 1985. Sima Yue was surprised by Hai-shi's words. Since you were bought by the Zhao family, then you are technically part of the Zhao family. Sima Yue said, but there are still auctioneers like this? There are many underground auctions that sell things that cannot be seen in public, but also people. Yan Jin said. Since you were chosen to be auctioned, it means that you have value. Sima Yue touched her chin. What value do you have? Hai-shi lowered his head and did not say anything. He bit his lips, feeling conflicted. Sima Yu looked at Yan Ju. Yan Ju shrugged. He didn't know either. When he asked before, Hai-shi didn't say anything either. Even when he threatened to send him away, he didn't say anything. Sima Yue was not anxious. Anyway, it was a good thing for her if she did not know. If she said anything, she might be dragged down. Hai-shi raised his head and looked at Sima Yue. She did not care much about his secret. There was no curiosity, no probing, no filth in her eyes. There was only clarity. He decided to use himself to make a bet. If he won, he could at least save his sister. If he lost, he would just have to pay with his life. Kid, if there is anyone in this world who can save you and your sister, it's only her. Yan Jin said. Pfft, Yan Jin, don't flatter me. Sima Yue threw the walnut in her hand at him. Yan Jin caught it and played with it in his hand. I'm not flattering you. I'm just telling the truth. Oh. You said that I'm the only one who can save them. Isn't that flattering me? Sima Yue snorted, then tell me, why am I the only one who can save the world? Look, those who are strong don't have the heart like you. Those who have the heart don't have the strength. Only you have the heart and the strength. You're also bold and have a strong background. You're not afraid of piercing through the sky. Yan Jin counted with his fingers seriously. Stop, stop. Sima Yue called him. Why does it sound like you're not praising me? Why not? Yan Jin said, these are all your strengths. Only you have all these conditions, so you are the only savior. But why do I hear from your words that I'm someone who wants to see the world in chaos? That's because you misunderstood. Yan Jin said firmly. TSK, how can I believe your words? Sima Yue could not be bothered with him. Hai-shi finally made a decision. He kowtowed to Sima Yue and said, Little princess, I don't know where you are from, but if you can save my sister, I am willing to follow you. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Why does it sound like I'll benefit a lot if you follow me? Actually, my sister and I are both human cauldrons. Hai-shi's words made the air freeze for a moment. When the wind blew, only the rustling of leaves could be heard. Hai-shi raised his head and looked at Sima Yue. He lowered his head and continued, although I'm still young, I'll grow up one day. By then, stop. Sima Yue knew why he said he was willing to follow her. He wanted to be her human cauldron when he grew up. She looked at Yan Jin and Fei Yi. They were obviously shocked by his words. So this was the reason why he did not say anything. Your sister is one too? She asked. Yes. Hai-shi nodded. Because of our bloodline, many people in our family were human cauldrons. Our family was exterminated because of this. Those who were not human cauldrons were killed. Those who were, the older ones were taken away. Those who were younger like me and my sister were sold to the underground auction. He thought of the scene of his family being exterminated and his body could not help but tremble. Tears flowed down his face, but he did not let himself cry. If his family was strong, they would not have been exterminated. If he was strong, his sister would not have to sacrifice herself and fall into the hands of those people. If he did not die, he must become strong and kill those people to avenge his family. But, would he have that day? He lowered his head. He did not see the other people's expressions and his heart was anxious. He had already expressed his feelings to her, but her reaction was different from what he expected. She was not happy or excited. She also did not have the interest in other people's eyes. In the past, he hated those people's expressions, but now he felt uneasy because she did not. If she did, it meant that he was still useful to her. He could use this as a condition to ask her to save his sister. If she did not want him, what condition did he have to ask her to help? Thinking of this, his heart was filled with despair. Sigh, a sigh came from above his head. Then he was pulled up by a gentle force. He raised his head and saw her pitying eyes. Little princess? He could not help but call her. Sima Yuyue sighed again, your body is yours, not someone else's. If you can take good care of your body in the future, I will help you save your sister. If you always think that your body is something you can rely on in the future, then you are not worthy of your sister risking her life to let you escape. Hai Shi's tears fell again. He was originally crying quietly, but when he saw Sima Yuyue looking at him seriously, he suddenly burst into tears. He rushed into Sima Yuyue's arms and cried until his whole body was shaking. Wu Lingyu's face darkened again. Sima Yuyue patted Hai Shi's head, he's just a child. Otherwise, he would be dead. Wu Lingyu stared at Hai Shi, wanting to pull him out. Hai Shi cried until the sky darkened. He cried out all the fear and helplessness he had felt during this period of time. Sima Yuyue's dress was wet. He's just a child. Where did he get so many tears to cry? Yan Qi sighed, sigh, I was the one who saved him. Shouldn't you trust me more? In the end, he went into Sima Yuyue's arms just like that. He felt a little defeated. With your murderous aura, I can tell that you can't be trusted. Bandit 1 mocked him without holding back. You are really. Yan Qi squinted at him, no matter what, I was the one who saved him. Not only did I save him, but I also accompanied him for so many days. This is not good. Sima Yuyue glanced over, using her eyes to express her meaning, then you do it? Then forget it. Yan Qi smiled at her. He was also used to throwing things aside. If he could avoid doing things himself, he would definitely not do it himself. Fushi kept looking at Hai Shi, the walnuts in his mouth crunching loudly. He was also a child. He did not know if he could do the same thing. But he was not a child. Would he be sent flying by the guy who released the air conditioner? Remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 1986. Shihai cried for a long time. Sima Yuyue and the rest didn't comfort him and let him cry out all the negative emotions that had accumulated in his heart. When his voice was hoarse and his spirit was gone, he gradually stopped crying. When he stopped crying and laid motionless on Yuyue's lap, everyone realized that he had fallen asleep. Wu Lingyu glanced at Huan. Huan went forward and carried him away. Then our next step is to go to the Zhao family? Yenya asked. No. Sima Yuyue shook her head, what we need to do now is to get rid of those people who are following us. Yenya paused for a moment before saying, they took so long to catch up. I thought they wouldn't come. The Zhao clan won't let the Zhou clan off so easily. Sima Yuyue's lips curled into a mocking smile. Zhou thought that he wouldn't be involved in this matter by saying that he was repaying his debt of gratitude. He was too naive. If he made a move when he was in the Zhou family, the Zhao family might not say anything. But now, the Zhou family couldn't get off the boat. Let me do it. Fei Yi said. Okay. Sima Yuyue was happy that he would take over. I want to see how powerful the number one in the Soul Society is. Fei Yi didn't say anything. He took out the erase stones and casually arranged them. But it seemed casual, but there was a hidden meaning. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows and said, when a master makes a move, the reaction is indeed different. Fei Yi smiled, and there was a hint of shyness in his smile. It's not a piece of cake for you. Yenya looked at them in surprise. Are you shy? It can't be. You're wrong. Fei Yi said lightly, but his gaze was evasive. You evolved this from the ancient array. Sima Yue said. No wonder she felt that the way he used the array was familiar. Now that she looked at it carefully, she finally understood. If you can say it, it means that you have done a lot of research on ancient arrays. Fei Yi didn't deny it. Those who could see it were not ordinary. Not really, I just know a little. Especially when they were researching the 10 great ancient arrays, she and Wu Lingyu had indeed researched a little about the ancient arrays. It had to be said that the power of ancient formations was much more powerful than the current formations. What she learned was the array formation of the 100 changing doors. It was already much more powerful than the current array formation, but compared to the true ancient array formation, there was still a gap. The people from the Zhou family are here. Huan hugged Hai Shi and didn't feel out of place at all. Hai Shi was really tired and had found hope, so he slept very soundly and showed no signs of waking up when they talked. Let's see how effective you are then. Sima Yue said. The Zhou family members chased after them. When they saw the empty valley, their expressions turned ugly. Looks like they've left. Are we too late? Probably. I didn't expect them to run so fast. We chased after them as soon as we got the news, but we still couldn't catch up to them. She took so many of our things. Are we just going to let her go? When they thought of the things that Sima Yue had taken away from their clan, they felt their hearts ache. Zhou and I, what's the matter with that child? Since you don't want to talk about it, let's not ask. Zhou and I was also in the team that chased after them. When he thought of Sima Yue, he frowned. What we need to do now is to catch up with them and bring the child back. The patriarch said that except for the child, the life or death of the others doesn't matter. We don't care about the life or death of those people. We just need to get back the things that she took from us. The child is the key. Zhou and I said. If anything happens to him, we can't explain it to the Zhao family. So even if you die, he can't die. Do you understand? Got it. Let's go. Since the news just came, they can't have gone far. They walked a few meters forward, and the scenery in front of them suddenly changed. The green mountains and blue waters turned into a scorched ancient battlefield. One by one, the souls of war crawled out of the ground and staggered towards them. Heavens, what are these things? Who are these people? Where are we now? Pa, the sudden clap of thunder in the dark sky gave them a fright. Heavens, it's tribulation lightning. Why is there tribulation lightning here? Everyone, don't panic. These aren't real. We are now in an illusion. Zhou and I shouted, telling the clan members not to panic. That's right. We are now in an illusion. These souls of war and this battlefield are all illusions. They are not real. The Zhou family elder who was in charge of leading the team said. It's an illusion array. Who set it up here? It must be Sima Yue and the others. Someone said hatefully. I didn't expect them to create such trouble for us before they escaped. To think that we treated them so well and treated her as our benefactor. That's right. If I catch her, I will definitely chop off her limbs and turn her into a human swine. I will also skin her and make her bones. Alright, let's not talk about this now. Let's think of a way to get out first. Zhou and I scolded. The people who were scolded were very unhappy, but they did not dare to talk back. However, they were still thinking about the suggestion just now. They must not let her die so easily. Wu Lingyu stood outside the array. When he heard that they wanted to turn Yue into a human swine and skin her to make bones, his anger rose. However, the pressure around him was getting lower and lower. Very good, they chose their own way of dying. If Bandit 1's array did not kill them, he had already thought of how to deal with them. Bandit 1 stood beside him and seemed to have guessed his thoughts. He said, "They can't live." Inside the array, the Zhou family did not know that Sima Yuyue and the others were outside. They saw the souls of war in front of them. "Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. These are all fake. Don't worry about them. Just pretend you didn't see them." A timid person saw the souls of war walking towards him and muttered with his eyes closed. "Pooh!" The figure with a spear pierced through his body interrupted his prayer. He looked down at the spear in his chest and saw his blood dripping down the spear. How could this be? Bang! Until the moment he fell, he did not know how this happened. Weren't these people illusory? How could he really die? This is an attack-type illusion array. Zhou and I shouted. How could it be an attack-type illusion array? This doesn't have the spiritual energy fluctuation of an attack-type illusion array. Ah, another person was killed by the souls of war. His screams made those doubts meaningless. This was an attack-type illusion array. Although they did not know why this was different from the others, they did not have time to think about it. Since this was all real, they had to deal with so many souls of war. Remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 1987. Boom! A thunderous roar came from the sky. When the Zhou family heard this sound, many of them were scared stiff. The battle soul's attack was real. Did that mean that the tribulation cloud was real too? If this lightning struck them, would they still be able to survive? Boom! Someone screamed from the crowd, not because they were struck, but because they were scared by the tribulation cloud. Their bodies went soft and they forgot about the battle soul's existence. Everyone, don't be afraid. This tribulation cloud is illusory and won't cause any harm. Otherwise, it would have attacked us long ago. The elder shouted. As the backbone of the team, he waved his arm and shouted. Everyone's condition was indeed much better. But before he could finish his sentence, a bolt of lightning fell from the sky and struck him directly. What he said just now had become a joke. But the power of this lightning wasn't strong, so this elder wasn't killed in one strike. But his complexion wasn't good. He had a feeling that this lightning bolt was meant to slap his face. Sima Yu burst out laughing, saying, "This lightning is quite human-like. It's just that the power is a bit lacking. I'll improve it next time." Bandit 1 listened seriously. This lightning was indeed used to fool people. It was said that it was used to attack the mentality of those people in the array. Who asked the people in the ghost realm to be so afraid of lightning? Using this would allow those people to be killed even faster. But this lightning's attack was indeed weak. So when it met someone who really played with lightning, it wasn't enough. Later on, I'll also make something so human in the illusion array. It's effective and fun. Sima Yuyue said with a smile. Then why don't you tell me how to increase the power of the lightning, and I'll tell you how to set it up. Bandit 1 probed. All right. Deal. I like to talk to people like you. Sima Yuyue said with a smile. After we save the starfish, we'll discuss the array. All right. In the array, the Zhou family members were all frightened by the lightning. Adding on the battle soul's attack, they were quickly defeated and half of them died. As for those who were still alive, they were all covered in wounds and had no fighting power left. Sima Yuyue wanted to say that they should just let it go. These people were just following orders. However, when she saw Wu Lingyu staring at them, she swallowed her words. Thinking about what he had said before, she still felt that it would be better for these people to just die. At least they would die happily. If they were to fall into his hands, they would probably be skinned and their limbs chopped off. They would be made into human swine and would beg for death. Until the last person died, the Zhou clan members did not walk out of the illusion array. It should be said that Fei 1's illusory array attack was strong and its effect was fast. It didn't give them any time to think about how to deal with this illusory array. Sima Yue sighed as she watched Zhou and I fall to the ground. She turned around and left. The others followed her. The bandits waved their hands one by one and retrieved the array stones. The piles of corpses of the Zhou clan members were revealed. Soon, the Zhou clan members would discover them. They had left the Zhou clan's territory. None of them knew where the Zhao clan was. It seemed that they could only ask someone first. However, they didn't know whose territory was next to theirs. After walking for a long time, they didn't see anyone. Half a day later, Hai Shi, who was nestled in Huan's arms, finally woke up. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw Huan's cold face. He was so scared that he trembled. Ha ha ha, Huan, look at you. You're so scary that you scared Hai Shi. Yan Jin saw this scene from the side and couldn't help but laugh. Huan looked down at Hai Shi. Seeing that he had woken up, he put him on the ground. Thank you. Although Hai Shi was scared, he still mustered up the courage to thank him. No need. He hugged him because of Sima Yue, not because of him, so he didn't need to thank him. Sima Yue turned around and saw that Hai Shi was scared. She waved at him and said, Hai Shi, come here. Hai Shi ran over and subconsciously grabbed Sima Yue's sleeve like a lost child. I didn't ask you before. How old are you? Sima Yue asked. 7 years old. My sister is 10 years old. Hai Shi replied. 10 years old was the age that those people liked the most. As long as they were raised for another 3 or 4 years, they would be able to use them. 10 years old is considered a hit. I don't know if, no. My sister is still in good condition. Hai Shi said with certainty. Why are you so sure? Because a female cauldron will only be able to open her bloodline at the age of 13. Only after opening her bloodline will she be called a real cauldron. And a male cauldron will be at the age of 12. Hai Shi replied. In other words, you and your sister are not real cauldrons now. Then why did those people buy you? If you don't open your bloodline when you reach the age, then those people will lose out. Sima Yue said doubtfully. Because of this. Hai Shi rolled up his sleeve, and there was a pink crescent-shaped birthmark on his forearm. This is a birthmark that only those with bloodline will have. A man is a crescent and a woman is a flower. As long as you have this, you will definitely be able to open your bloodline and become a cauldron. Sima Yue touched his head and said, You are not a cauldron, it is a type of body. The advantage is that it allows you to cultivate very quickly and rarely encounter bottlenecks. This is the real function of your body. Those despicable people will use despicable methods to make use of your body, do you understand? Although Hai Shi did not really understand what she meant, he understood it according to his own thoughts. It was for his own good after all. He nodded heavily. I understand. I will not call myself a cauldron in the future. Good boy. Sima Yue patted his head again. Fushi looked at them from the side and pouted. This guy looked about the same age as him, but why did Sima Yue touch his head and not his own? He wanted to go closer, but Sima Yue also touched his head like this. He had just taken a step when he was grabbed by the collar and thrown to the side. He waved his fist at Wu Lingyu as a silent protest. Wu Lingyu looked at him and did not allow him to come closer. Just you wait. Fushi threatened him with his eyes. You do it, you fake child. Fushi was speechless. No wonder Wu Lingyu did not stop Hai Shi from getting closer to Sima Yue. No wonder he did not let Sima Yue touch his head. Although he looked like a child, he was actually 250 years old. Sob, they did not treat him as a child at all. Hai Shi, do you know where the Zhao family is? Sima Yue asked. I don't know. Hai Shi shook his head. When we were escaping, my sister used a few random teleportation portals, so I don't know where the Zhao family is or where they are. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.